deco. Click, click. I have to plug in the other thing.
About the Cal animated head swagger. I'm so freaking delighted. I want to punch hole in drywall.
Yeah, looking at my Tumblr.
I often do that on the toilet now because
You gotta look at Tumblr on the toilet.
It's more interesting than the bubble game.
Did I finish? I have not finished coloring this one. Okay, that's a good one to start working on. What? Yeah, I'm just doing casual, trying to color characters. Trying to color like some art that I was working on anyway. Coloring.
When Steve comes in and steals all my lamps, I will be delighted.
That's right. That's right, sweetie. I don't normally. What, the peachy cat friggin'... That's a different one? It's gone. Can't scroll up fast enough. Please, sir, let me be one of the subs of the gift variety. I don't know how that works. Oh, yeah. Okay. Change my mind about this. Like, I'm not good at picking colors. I'm gonna do a different method in which to get the color I want, because I want to be more authentic. That's a good color to pick. I'm a leftover. Copy image. Hope nobody's mad at me for using such a thing as a color reference, but like, I gotta use color references. Don't go breaking my heart. I couldn't if I fried. Well, honey, if I had breakfast, give me eggs on the side. Ooh, nobody knows it. Ooh. Nobody froze it. Was that the lyric? Nobody froze it. Ooh. My there it is. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Just gotta get rid of this garish red. I'm not good at picking colors, but I'm gonna try. Let's get kind of like a bit more of a pastel goldenrod here. I've been going way more pastel lately. I haven't decided on the colors yet. Maybe really pastel and then have more of a brights. I don't know. Let's just start with this. There's a couple of character designs I've hesitated to like finish for various reasons. Oops. Sure if I'm jiving with this shade.
Did you start already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll be there.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to test audio first before you come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you also Discord streaming so we can hear your music?
No, but I want you to test,
But when I join call, go ahead and use someone's stream.
okay. Because otherwise I'm gonna go la 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 with the music and you're not gonna know what I'm singing to. I haven't decided on the colors yet. Let's try. Ooh, I kind of like the peachy orange. But let's go down a bit more. It's a delicious peachy color. I feel like I'm looking at sherbet. Sherbet ice cream. Where's my mic sensitivity? It's probably fine. I'm being picky.
Hello, darling. I'm speaking to you. How is it compared to the music? I like watermelon flavored things, not actual watermelon. Watermelon is lame. How's that volume? Ho ho ho.
I think I kind of want to E and then E. I'll decide as I go. And then where's the color? When you are actually talking, it's fine, but when you mutter, it's a bit quiet compared to the music. Okay, I can turn the music down a bit more. Although it's kind of difficult because the volume bar is not strong enough. It's not wide enough. Howdy! Hi, Cammy. Welcome.
I'm just doing like some coloring stuff today. Nothing particularly interesting. So yeah, I'm having Aki test volume before she comes into the voice chat. I'm coloring OCs today. Whoopsie frigadoo. How's that? I'm still deciding colors of things. How's that? So how's the volume, Aki? Let's see, balance seems good. How about you, Cammy? Yeah, how do you guys microphone volume versus background music volume? Short answer. Also, it feels weird for my camera to not work, but my camera's just not working today. So there's no, like, it doesn't care which direction my head is. It's not tracking that. But that's the part of the goodness of me using the program vMagic Mirror, because it doesn't care if you have a microphone or not. Like, it doesn't require a microphone for it to work. So it's definitely the program I recommend for beginners. So fussy, I'm just gonna go to color her face. Pretty good? Okay. So look at this. This is good old 1-2 save. Okay, getting on call. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Discord and do the call. Okay. Staff voice. I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to share screen. Screen 2, and then also share system audio. Boom. Oh, that was a little weird sounding. What's up? Is there Aki yet? Again, remembering there's no point in me shaking my head to the music because there's no head tracking today. I just kind of gave up on that. I don't super know yet what causes my program to detect the camera or not detect the camera. Let's see. On Discord, the music is way louder than you. Okay. Huh? That's weird. Okay, I'll turn it down like that much. Art gut reactions are L to R, goth magical girl, special agent, some kind of monk lady, and action red. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and explain these so far because I'm still like coloring the right two, obviously. And honestly, I'm still fussing over the color scheme of the left character. Like, I want their hair to be, like, pink and stuff. The hair, ears, and tail, like, pink. I'm not so sure about the black, because that makes her come off as goth, and she's not goth. She's actually very, like, bubbly and extroverted and stuff. But, like, I don't know, I liked the black. But I'm not really feeling the black. I'm not sure what other color scheme I would pick for her though. Music is still way too loud. Okay, what if I bring the mic like way close to my face and make sure that I'm always talking directly into the mic? How's this? Oh, I'll get back to you on that. Second guy, he's Ice Powers boy and actually very hot-headed. I know that's not a combination that people do usually, but that's why I did it. Is like, oh, people are like, oh, it's the ice power person, so they gotta be cool and calm and collected, and then the fire person will be like the hothead. But no, I made the hothead character the ice power one. I'm much louder now? Okay. Music is still pretty loud. Jeez, really? Okay, well, Cammy, how is it on stream? How is the music volume compared on stream? Because that's a pretty important question. Bloop. I hear a Discord bloop. What's that about? I have to check. Okay, it's Pyro messaging me. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Space Stream Squad. Dum, dum, dum. Let's see, music is very faint now. Yeah, I figure at this point it must be very faint on stream, so I wonder why it would be so friggin' loud on Discord. I'm not really sure what to do about that sort of balancing. Hello? Are you on yet? Budadoop. I'm hearing budadoops. Oh, she's coming out of her room.
Hi, how are you adjusting the music audio?
That's a good question. I'm strictly using this button right here.
Really?
Yeah, and it's at like 3%. The music is at 3%.
Really?
And
okay.
yeah, the music is now very
adjusting...
faint for the stream.
Yeah, I thought you were just adjusting desktop audio and it wasn't making much of a difference on my end.
Well, I wouldn't adjust desktop audio because that's going to affect the voice volume of people in the Discord chat.
Yeah, so, okay, just quit streaming on Discord because it's just, that balance is just not going to work out.
Yeah, the balance just doesn't work. Okay, then I will fix it back to where it works for people on stream. This is why we test things. I like it around here.
I wasn't even sure if you were hearing me because you're hearing me.
I never heard you once on Discord. So, I don't know. Let's see, stop streaming on Discord. And then Twitch is fine. And then you can tell me how the audio balance is on Twitch again. Currently I have it, for my own future reference, I have it on 9%.
Okay, I think...
Oh, I can hear you now, Aki.
Yeah, I think maybe I had my mic muted. I don't know.
Yeah, I never even heard a glimpse of you.
I didn't think it would do that by default, but apparently it did, so...
Oh, that's kind of weird. I do not know.
I am here.
Hi, what's up here?
Okay.
I mean, you made a sound, but I'm not really sure what it was.
Oh, did it not come across well?
No. What was that?
It's just a slurping sound.
Just a slurp.
Yeah. I like to slurp.
I also like to slurp.
Well, Vicky, this is where you tell us about your characters.
OMG. Okay, give me a sec. I want to make sure I put the shines in her eyes so that she doesn't look scary. There we go. Okay, so these are characters for my project that is currently titled Mental Metas. I don't think the title is super great, but I like alliteration. Anyway, so a bunch of superhero characters. I've got Pink Fox on the left. I'm still ho-humming about whether she should be wearing black because that makes her look goth. She's not goth. She's actually very bubbly and extroverted. And her superpowers are gravity manipulation. She can control the weight of gravity, the intensity of gravity, and the direction of gravity. Next we have Tyree. I don't have a superhero name for him yet. I'm thinking something starting with the word cryo, because, like, you know, cryokinesis or whatever. Cryonis, you know. So I'm thinking like cryojet or something, but I'm willing to go for any other ice puns people have that would be suitable for him.
I like cryojet.
Yeah, I actually like cryojet, but so that's still on the table. I'm still coming up with his hero name. So he's a huge hothead. He has anger management issues actually, but is a really good person. Like he has a big heart and he does like care about protecting people genuinely. He just has anger management problems that he's working on. He's actually working on it. He's a good boy. Tyree's a good boy. Next I have Adila, who's my little, I mean, Cammy was making some guesses about like nun or monk or something. I guess monk would make sense. Would be a suitable assumption. Anyway, so this is one of the weirder ones, and if I have anybody who's Muslim or has more knowledge about Muslim stuff, I would love to talk to you because I have several questions. So I'm like, is this design okay? So I'm just kind of going ahead and coloring it anyway, but I did put a lot of thought into like, okay, so we have a character who wears a hijab and has deer antlers. Like, she's a deer girl. Excuse me. So, and Aki gave me the idea of like, you know, you can't just have like holes and then the antlers come out. Like, how would the antlers fit through? So for her, I built these little knots where like it's a bigger hole for her to actually fit her antlers through, and then she can like, it's a pull string and she can pull it. And then I also added that pull string look elsewhere on her costume. So there's a little bit of character design balance. So yeah, so she's a deer girl, and her power is wind manipulation. So she's basically an airbender, but I don't use the word bender because this isn't Avatar: The Last Airbender. So in my universe, if there's an elemental character, they're called like a wind wielder, or an ice wielder, or a fire wielder. So she's a wind wielder.
I gotta say, Tyree's design is really good. I really like it.
Thank you. Definitely the funnest part was giving his shirt that texture.
Yes, it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm not one to give my character designs a texture like this, but I'm like, well, this is what suits like the type of costume I want to design for him, is that it would be something textured like this. And I had a lot of fun like coloring it and trying to make it look correct.
Kind of like a thermal gel going on or something like
that.
Yeah.
Tyree is definitely one of my favorite characters. I had a lot of fun writing him and stuff. Basically, I look forward to a lot of writing things I have for like season 1, basically. Where season 1 is more about exploring a variety of characters, and then season 2 it takes a lot more time to focus on the main character. The main character is not even present in this picture. Let's see. And then last girl I have on the right, which I have not started coloring at all yet. Sorry for the garish bright red. This is Miracle. She is the best friend character of the main character. She has no powers. She's just kind of cool, extroverted, very fun, bubbly, super supportive friend. And a lot of the best mental health supportive dialogue is going to come from her.
Okay, a couple questions.
Yes.
Yeah, your girl on the left, what was her name again? On the left?
I'm like fussing about how to answer that because I'm like, her superhero name is stupid. It's just Pink Fox.
Pink Fox?
Just Pink Fox.
I mean, working title.
Yeah, it's working, but it's in the works. I'm like, what a stupid.
You said she was like really, really bubbly, so I'm curious why you drew her. Okay, from a distance, her expression looks kind of grumpy, but when you zoom in, it's kind of more like, hey. Like...
Yes, her personality is very like, hey, you know. I'm looking at this again, and I'm like, okay, how old is this drawing? Because, oof, a lot of the anatomy on these is pretty terrible. There's a year on it, 2019. So these drawings are a couple years old, and I can tell.
Okay. So you were saying that maybe she looked too goth with the black.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what other colors would work.
I'm thinking either gray or like a cyan or a light blue. Those are my throw-out suggestions.
I was kind of thinking a white, just because I think a neutral color would work best, because I want the pink to be the one that pops.
Gray would still make pink pop.
Yeah, gray might still work. And I guess part of why I went for, like, black is to hide a lot of the liner intentionally. Like, you can see, like, the lines here. Whoops. I don't know why Photoshop likes to do that. Dark green, maybe? I liked the idea of just being able to hide the lines, because I didn't want it to be, like, super obvious that there's, like, lines separating parts of the costume design. And I didn't want, like, the line separation to be a part of the attention. I want the silhouette of the costume to be the attention of the costume.
That does make sense.
So that's why I went for black, to just kind of like hide the line art. I mean, obviously it's not pure black. You can see the line art. But that's why I went for black. So I'm still ho-humming of whether I want to keep her with black.
So the line art is supposed to be there, but you don't want to have it draw too much attention.
Yeah, I don't want the line art to have too much attention on it, because it's not about the lines defining the shapes, it's about the silhouette defining the shapes. Drink water.
I'm wondering if it would work to just get rid of the lines altogether.
Yeah.
Or if that would just really ruin it. I don't know. It's one of those things you have to play with.
I mean, yeah, I can like toggle off the color and you can see the lines I have here. So like down here by the arm, I have it like the line is completely separating the part that comes off of it. But then over here in like the chest window, there's like no line separating the parts that come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Makes sense. The arrows and gravity symbols are very cool looking. Thank you. So... I mean, a lot of my character design problems with this particular character comes from, this is an outside-in character, and I think that's interesting that I do it both ways. It just completely depends on the character entirely. Some characters I design outside-in, as in I come up with the character design first, and then I figure out who they are. And then I have other characters that I designed entirely inside out, where I knew who they were, and it took me a while to develop their character design. Like, it just really depends on the character. I'm not one particular way when I design characters. I'm like, oh, I'm always an inside-out type of writer. Nope. I am inconsistent. It just entirely depends on the character.
Beep, 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 boop, bop.
Beep, boop, beep, beep, bop.
Beep, boop, beep, beep, bop, boop, bop. Boop, beep, 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 bop.
So yes, am I designing my dear girl with like airbender colors on purpose? Of course I am. Because I do want to give off the vibe that she's kind of like an airbender, because she is, but
I feel like you ought to try to break away from that on purpose, personally.
Right, yeah, break away from it on purpose. I mean, I am going for more of a pastel, like, sherbet thing, and instead of, like, the main tunic being yellow and the outer parts being orange, like, I am flipping it. But I am willing to go for, like, a different color scheme entirely, if you think that would work better. I'm going to put Adila on the side while I think about it, and then I'm going to get started on coloring Miracle over here.
Part of it is just, like, wind doesn't have a color. So it's
yeah, wind
totally
doesn't have a color. That's true.
It's totally up to interpretation how you would color something like that.
Mm-hmm. But I also like the yellow and orange, because yellow and orange is not a color scheme I'm going to go for normally by myself. That's probably where I got the monk impression, to be honest. Yeah, because airbenders in the show are monks.
I'm gonna do some Googling real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, if there's like some Muslim or Arabic symbolism that I could be going for that to make this work better, that'd be great. So yeah, the character is Muslim American, so that's also different than just Muslim. But I don't know enough about it, and I have so many questions, so many Muslim related questions that I literally have written down, that if somebody thinks they can answer my questions authentically, I would love to speak with you. Because I have a whole list, and they're all regarding this character.
Okay, so I just decided to Google just like Muslim American girl. I'm seeing mostly neutral colors, but occasionally bright colors do come in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with a superhero job, you want the bright colors, right?
It depends.
I mean, yeah, it does depend. I am not intentionally being like super conventional with all of the designs. Bless you.
Oh, they're so cute.
What?
There's a Girl Scout troop where all the girls are wearing hijabs.
Aw, that sounds cute.
I know they're Girl Scouts because they're wearing the vests. So.
I'm so bad with colors. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I feel like I made Tyree, like, way too saturated in his skin tone, but I definitely color picked from a photo to get the color. Okay, let me look at what references I used before, because I have other references up here. Okay, so I used... What did I use this reference for? I think I used this for the pink hair. And then I used this photo as a reference for the skin tone, although this is some really dramatic lighting here. So it's hard to pick something. Because, like, this is a lot of colors in just this area, because the lighting is so intense. But yeah, I do try to use photo references for, like, skin tones especially, because I'm not so great with it. Let's see, Miracle's looking... Is that a good... I'm trying to decide if that's a good skin tone. Because I'm looking at it on my monitor, but I'm also looking at it on my other monitor, which displays colors very differently, and I'm like, this all looks incorrect. Okay, I think I'm gonna make her a bit darker. Because, like, on my right monitor, the tone I picked looks very warm, and on the left monitor, the tone looks very cool. And I'm like, those are very different colors, computers. Y'all inconsistent. Bit darker. Okay. Yeah. Alright. I'm looking at this and I'm like, first of all, Tyree looks way too saturated on my screen. And also, he looks too pale. I seem to remember making him way darker. That's really weird.
I mean, he looks like a good chocolate brown over on my screen.
Yeah, I'm just fussing because the colors are so different on my two different screens that I'm looking at the same time here. This is why I color pick, is that I just can't trust my own eyes and my monitors to pick colors right. So I'm just gonna go with what I see on my right monitor here, where I'm coloring anyway for Miracle, but I'm like fussing over it so hard. Miracle's gonna be...
You still there? Like, your audio suddenly
sounded
like it was cutting.
My audio? How's it here?
Okay, you're fine.
Okay.
Maybe it's just that Discord makes you go, like, really, really silent when you're not talking. And...
yeah, it is really good at being like, oh, there's background noise, let's, you know, get rid of it or whatever. So Discord is really good with most audio, which is great, but sometimes it can be fussy and, like, put too much silence. So I'm like, oh, I need to be, like, closer to the mic. And now I have to be closer to the mic because I readjusted my boom arm today, and now it's, like, in a different position, and it's, like, a lot more in my face. Miette! Miette! Hi! Oh my goodness! Hi!
Oh, I'm coming.
Miette, you want to go take care of Miette? The little baby! I had a weird feeling she was behind me. I'm like, I feel like something's watching me, and I turn around and she's like looking at me, at my soul. Somebody's watching me. She's so pretty, and she's so loud.
Oh, I forgot the tablet, so I can still watch.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm right here, baby. Oh my gosh, Miette, you're so cute. Freaking love her. Oh my gosh. Miette. Miette. Oh, she's so loud.
Say your name like you're in trouble.
Yeah, she doesn't like that.
You're welcome.
She is very welcome.
Welcome in, sweetie pie.
Oh, I love her.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, did you close the bedroom door? Good. Make sure Mia doesn't get in there. She's gonna think about how dare you close the bedroom door. That's very rude of you. She is very well. She delivers wellness. Do it like a lady. Meow. Oh, baby. Oh, she. I want so much of her, but it's on me for streaming at the time she likes to visit. Meow. Oh, opinion. Opinion. Oh. That's adorable. Who should be the governor? I don't even have an opinion on that. I don't know who the governor is. Do I look like I care? I can sense her presence. She is a present. Is she getting the good TLC that she deserves? Oh yeah. Oh, baby girl. Oh, Miracle, what is your eye shape? I don't know. I've never gotten around to coloring you before. She's a beautiful black woman. I mean, that is a good question with me because I have a history of designing characters where you look at them and you're like, oh, that's the token whatever race, and I'm like, I ended up making it something more unique than you expected.
You deny Miette access? Foul, vile, wicked Miette will proclaim your sins to the world.
Yes. Alright, here's my favorite part of Miracle's design that I get to color now. Let's see, we need a blue. A reasonable shade of blue. I'm not a reasonable shade of blue, I promise you.
Yeah, I just now noticed you changed your t-shirt.
What, my t-shirt model? What about it?
I like it. I just now noticed you changed it.
Oh, yeah. I change it all the time. This shade of blue doesn't seem right. Yeah, I'm gonna pick a different shade of blue. Let's try a bit more, slightly more on the cyan part of the spectrum. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. So Miracle likes blue. And when I think about my character Miracle, I think about like one of my favorite chapters I wrote is like has nothing to do with like superhero stuff. It's just about Miracle meeting the main character when they're in middle school and how they help each other out with their personal problems. And they just become best buds. And it's super cute. What? Yeah, I can do that. What are you gonna do about it? Oh, okay. Yeah, like this Pop Tart I have over here. Oh. I got a Pop Tart now. What could you do? Yeah, you should. Meow. Baby has opinions, and I love her very much. Meow. I hear you, baby. Is she being like a little sweetie pie? The sass. She's a sassy little baby. She is a sarsaparilla, and I love her. No, row. Meow. What are you gonna do with her? You're just petting her. She has a lot to say. Wait, what? Oh. Political. Politics. Do you think she's a Republican or a Democrat? Hey, why'd you close it? She can't. Yeah. There we go. There's the rotating I need. So one of my favorite things about my drawing of Miracle here is I remember I showed it to Danny, like right after I had finished drawing it. And the first thing Danny said was, "Whoa, this girl is very comfortable with her body." I'm like, what an interesting thing to say. But yes, Miracle is very comfortable with her body. Yeah, it's very much like this is how people dress in real life. And so, like, yeah, Miracle's meant to come off as, like, very, like, oh yeah, this is, like, I want to say normal girl, because I don't want to design any of my characters where you're going to look at them and be like, oh yeah, they're normal. Definitely not in mental metas. Nobody here is normal. That's the point. Miracle is huge anime weeb. So normal they're weird? Like tad strange. No, I don't think so. It's not like it's a style of humor I see in things. It's like, haha, look at this character. They're so normal that they're weird, that they make you uncomfortable because they're trying so hard to be normal. I've never tried doing something like that. Just like I don't find it particularly interesting, and I don't think I would be able to pull it off in a particularly funny way. So I haven't like bothered. But yeah, Miracle is a huge weeb, and she introduces the main character to anime. It's like, join my anime wave life. Definitely with Sailor Moon. So I have a parody of Sailor Moon. It's like a cartoon, but with flowery swords women. But with big guns, or big swords. Yeah, definitely Miracle is 110% a huge Sailor Moon fan. But I have a parody of Sailor Moon, and specifically it's a parody of Sailor Moon and Steven Universe at the same time. So they're like the Sailor Gems. So you'll have like Sailor Lapis and Sailor Topaz and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the parody anime that Miracle really likes and that she cosplays from. She's also a cosplayer. Okay, so she really likes Sailor Lapis and... No, okay, and yet... For Sailor Moon. Okay, she's a huge Mercury fan and Uranus fan. She really likes those two. Yeah, she really likes Lapis and Jasper. Yeah, like, you know, I put thought into, like, what kind of stuff would she like, because I'm just like, you know, this is stuff I like, so how would I use things that I like to help describe my character? So yeah, in universe of, like, what characters would she really like? Yeah, she really likes, yeah, I have it, and it's even written in her character Bible what characters she would like. So she really likes Mercury, mostly because she just really likes blue, and same thing with Lapis. She just really likes blue. She's a sucker for that. But she really likes Uranus and Venus. Yeah, I said Mercury. She openly admits that most of her bias towards those characters is because they're blue. She just really likes blue. Which is something I consider for real life, because when I'm looking at characters, yes, I do have a bias towards characters who are purple. But that doesn't necessarily mean the purple one is going to be my favorite all the time. So, like, for Sailor Moon, my favorite is Sailor Venus, even though she's, like, yellow and orange, and I don't particularly like orange, like, at all. Let's see, now we need to get a pastel pink. Make it a bit brighter. There we go. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I do like Dark Sailor Mercury from the live-action show. That's cool. Still not jiving with this shade that I picked here. Although on the other screen, it looks like a fine shade of pink. Gosh dang it. Ooh, I have to make the colors at least jive with each other, so I have to go off of the one screen that I see. Let's see. Really? That sounds interesting. Square Mama's babe. It is really sad. Yeah. It's like this character who lives in Tokyo, Japan, and has a Japanese name, and is clearly Japanese, and like nobody's gonna bat an eye if a white person cosplays that character. But then like when you have to like people who are like really POC and stuff, then people get in a hissy fit, and I'm like, no, because yeah, it's so. Oh, did she sneeze? She did sneeze. That was very cute. Out of my sight. Oh, you have to go get her off the counter. But yeah, cosplay community is still like trying to figure that whole thing out, because you know, we're very adamant about like, oh yeah, absolutely cosplay outside your body type. Like, it's okay if you like, you know, you're overweight and you want to cosplay like an anime character or whatever. Oh, you're right. I should give it a pet.
You should have a taste of the Pop-Tart.
Oh my goodness, she's so cute. Oh my goodness.
She's so big. And she doesn't like me holding her, but she's not fighting me.
Yeah, which is really interesting. And she's just kind of like letting her arms hang down. It's really funny looking. She's big. She's big and healthy.
Yeah, so like, I absolutely cosplay outside your body type.
Absolutely cosplay outside your body type.
Same
And
time though, like to me it goes both ways.
yeah,
Like, yes, black people absolutely cosplay white people.
it goes both ways.
I'm okay with sketchy area.
Yeah, just because people get in a huge hissy fit about it, and because they're like blackface, and I'm like, okay. I studied theater in college, and we had an entire lesson on the history of blackface and stuff, because theater is where it originated, and yeah, if you look at the history, it has nothing to do with the way people cosplay at all. Like, it depends on how it's done, and aka with like oil. It depends on the intent, aka being offensive. And like, none of the things that made it what it was in theaters back in that time period has nothing to do with the way people cosplay today. So it just doesn't make sense for people to be whining about it, because it's not the same thing at all. Let's see. Okay, I can't hear you beyond. Yeah, I guess you might need to get closer to the mic to speak. Remind me what you said.
Okay.
Summarize it for me.
I was just talking about, like, in cosplay, absolutely I'm just gonna say it again anyway.
Yeah, if you're gonna say it anyway, because I can't reiterate what you were gonna say. Let me try to get the mic a bit closer to you.
Testing, can you hear me? I am here.
Yeah, that should be good.
here with a microphone.
Yeah, you can also look at the mic levels
Bah.
over here. Yeah, you should be loud enough at this point.
Alright, so I was just saying that, like, absolutely cosplay outside your body type, absolutely cosplay outside your race. I've got no problem with, you know, black Americans or just anybody who's not white, cosplaying, like, white characters. I have no problem with them cosplaying Asian characters. Like, it doesn't bother me any. I really like a lot of the original things people can even bring into it when they tailor things, like, to their body type. But I also think it goes both ways. I really don't like it when people get upset over, like, white people cosplaying black characters, because it's just like, I'm sorry, I really like this character, and it's basically the same reason as a black person cosplaying a white character. They can't change their skin tone for the cosplay, and if they did, it would be offensive. So, absolutely go for cosplaying outside of your race. Like, don't make a big deal out of it. But I have seen people, like, making a big deal out of people cosplaying, like, Katara or Korra when they're like white, and it's just like I don't know. I'm very two-way street. When it comes to,
it's got to be a two-way street, baby.
when it comes to like what's allowed and what's not. Like people shouldn't be using, like, when it comes to the racial slur debate, it's just like, yeah, people shouldn't be using
It
racial
comes from
slurs.
a very uneducated area.
Like, it's like, yeah, people shouldn't be using racial slurs for against any race, even against white people, because they're just setting a bad standard that it's still okay to
Yeah.
do it to one group and not another.
I can hear you better now, but it's still not super clear. Can you turn down the music? Oh, really? Is the music still too loud? I can turn it down. No, about right there is good.
Please don't stop the music.
Wheels on the music. But yeah, I think about characters like Amethyst from Steven Universe, where people will legit argue what race you should be to cosplay that character.
It's just like, she's purple.
She's a purple alien.
She's purple. Let's get
Chill
over it.
out. It's like, have I cosplayed a character that was a POC before? Yes, I have, and sometimes I wonder about it, but like nobody knew who I was cosplaying, so it didn't matter.
What character was that?
Mio Vodello from Psychonauts.
Oh yeah, she's Brazilian.
She is Brazilian, and I did cosplay her. I didn't do anything particular to like my skin. I just used a lot of like bronzer to like exaggerate my cheekbones and stuff, and just like lots and lots of makeup. That made sense, but it's not like I did anything like to my skin. So there's that.
I agree,
but
Cammie. As long as everyone on the street is trying to be nice.
as long as everyone on the street is trying to be nice, hallelujah, amen.
Rarely do I see people actually trying to be offensive, and when they are, it's just to be a meme. Most of the time,
Yeah.
they think they're being funny, and this is really not.
Drink water. Someday I will cosplay a macrophage from Cells at Work. Oh! Partly because I think they're funny, partly because I want a fluffy and frilly white dress. Yes.
I'm gonna look that up because I don't know what that character looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those look like. I'm mostly familiar with like red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. That's what I remember from that show, because I only saw like the first few episodes. Platelets are so freaking cute, oh my gosh.
Macro or micro? Macro.
Macrophage. I love people who cosplay white blood cell because then that just looks cool in person.
Oh, wow.
To see somebody have like just the white paint all over them.
That is a very frilly white
That
dress.
is a super frilly white dress. Wow.
Like, you could wear that in the temple.
Ooh, yeah. Dude, let me tell you, wearing a big frilly dress, so fun.
Realistic scale of cells.
Oh.
I'm not even sure what a macrophage does. So
I'm not sure what a
it does.
macrophage does.
So I'm gonna
Amethyst
look
is
that
a
up.
rock alien. Good luck trying to be that race. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty stupid. It's just a really dumb debate that people still have, and it's still like a problem in the cosplay community, and I'm like, chill out, please. It's like cosplay is a very friendly hobby that's for everyone. Please, like we're here to be inclusive of people.
Yay, inclusiveness.
Inclusiveness is pretty freaking neato, I must say. So did Miette leave?
I think so. I'm gonna have to double check.
I know, because if you're not paying attention to where you're like, did she leave or is she still in my house?
Macrophages are specialized cells involved in the detection, phagocytosis, and destruction of bacteria and other harmful organisms. In addition, they can also present antigens to T cells and initiate inflammation by releasing molecules known as cytokines that activate other cells. So
Cool, I understood none of that.
they kind of seem like super white blood cells.
Okay. Really extra powerful defense.
I guess.
More powerful offense?
They're definitely larger than white blood cells, which tells me they really mean business.
Yeah, apparently.
beep, beep. Alright, so I'm gonna double check.
Double check the Miette status. The Miatus.
Okay, I'm closing this door.
Okay.
She doesn't just like sneak in.
While you're checking, yeah.
One of these days, though, I swear we're gonna forget about her, and then she's gonna pop out of like.
Yeah, well, let's try not to do that. Weep woo.
I love the shirt you gave her.
Wait.
I was considering giving
Yeah?
giving my Aki model a shirt similar to that. I don't know. I want to change Swamp Witch to something else eventually.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I want to be like Rose Moon or Moon Rose or something like that. And I'm like, but I want to be not cliche.
I know. I understand. I mean, for Miracle here, the explicit purpose is to make her look like she's dressing like a weeb. So this is very much like her Sailor Moon shirt. Because you got moons and roses.
Moons and roses. It's my
Moons and
aesthetic.
roses,
Like,
baby.
the more I thought about what my aesthetic was, and I'm like, it all comes back to Sailor Moon.
Everything comes back to Sailor Moon. Just like in real life, everything comes
Sailor
back
Moon
to
is like
crap.
a little bit more bright and pastel than I prefer, but it all comes back to Sailor Moon. Moons
Because
and roses,
you must
man.
use the power of friendship and rainbows to destroy your enemies.
That's My Little Pony.
But it's also Sailor Moon. So, in other words, My Little Pony is Sailor Moon. And therefore everything comes back to Sailor Moon.
Everything comes back to Sailor Moon.
Everything comes back to Sailor Moon eventually. I mean, prove me wrong.
Want the door closed? It's a little bit chilly.
Yeah, you can close the door. Gives me security that I can talk louder about sensitive topics without the neighbors hearing me.
Yeah, except you're streaming, so you have like a specific standard.
I mean, I do have a specific standard, but like, yeah, the door's closed now. It just kind of scares me because I'm like, you know, I'm talking about important like racial topics right now, and I'm like, a lot of my neighbors are of the race we're talking about, and I'm like,
Like,
I don't.
A lot of my neighbors are POC, and like, I don't know if things I have to say would be cool with them or not.
Yeah, I don't
because
know if they would be cool with what I'm saying,
I don't-
but
it's not that.
Oh.
It's just the internet is always telling me I'm wrong and everything. I think. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's like, how dare you have opinions?
How do you have opinions? Meanwhile, look at me, Mom. I'm drawing a black character. Look at me go.
Because you're trying to be diverse because the world is diverse.
Well, yeah, not diversity, not for the sake of diversity, but for the sake of realism, baby.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely Mental Metas is my most heavily diverse cast. It's like, meanwhile, like, television shows are like, yeah, we're diverse. We have a black man. Notice it's almost never a black woman, first of all. I was telling Aki about that last night and how friggin' ridiculous it is. That, especially, like, the CW Flash show and stuff like that, where they're like, oh, we're trying to be diverse. We're intentionally taking famous comic book characters from the Flash and Arrow and Supergirl and stuff, and we're making them black because their character doesn't need to be white, so let's just make them black, just cuz. And I'm like, yeah, but you're almost always doing that to the male characters. At least they did it with Iris West. That's a woman. I'm like, okay, thank you. You have at least a black woman here, which is good. I do also appreciate Cisco Ramon, but his name is Cisco Ramon, so of course he's always not white by default, because that's his name. But also brought to you by Cisco Ramon is definitely best character.
Like, I have now been at the point in my life where I have lived in so many communities with high Hispanic populations.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, wow, it is really unrealistic how little I see Hispanic representation
In media.
In media.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I'm just like, yeah, America's a real melting pot, and meanwhile media's like, yeah, we're diverse, here's a black man. I'm like,
But I have started to see a little bit more Hispanic.
yeah, I've started to see a bit more. I'd like to see more. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna rub it in everyone's faces. I'm like, yeah, I know how to be diverse, even though I'm like a not very educated or well-read or well-traveled individual who is of the Caucasian variety. But I'm like, yeah, I've got Armenian, and I've got Filipino, and I've got Pacific Islander.
An interesting one that I need to learn more about is Lebanese.
I don't know anything about that one, but I'm interested to learn. Oh, for sure. Tokenism is aggravating. Yeah. It's like, did you know that there are plenty more types of people in this world than you keep pretending?
And did you know that black people come in female?
Yeah! Because that's what I was saying, is like, the lack of female blacks in media, I think just comes from, and I don't know why this is, black women are not treated like they're attractive. Which is really, really weird. It was like, you know, with as much as, you know, media likes to, how do I put this delicately for a stream content? Likes to use women. I guess I'll put it that way. Black women are in the mix for some reason. Why not?
And I also think there's a fine line between, like, portraying someone as attractive and then portraying somebody as a sex object.
Yeah, those are different things, but
there's a fine line there.
There is a very fine line there, but overall, just the lack of black women in things tells me that black women just aren't seen as attractive, and I just don't know why. Black women get objectified. I mean, yeah, they do. And it's like, there's definitely a difference between, like, you know, beauty and objectification. Those are different things, but still, like, they kind of go together oftentimes, and what I'm observing is that just the lack of black women in media is like, oh, well, black women just aren't attractive. Yeah. They're not treated as romantically desirable. I'm like, but why not? Yeah, and then we rewatched the Sonic movie last night, and yeah, the first one, because we're gonna go to the theaters and watch Sonic 2. And we wanted to rewatch the first one, but yeah, much appreciation for, you know, the Sonic movie. You know, having like, okay, you know, here's your average Joe main character guy, and first of all, great to represent that he's married, not just has a live-in girlfriend, but like they're married. Maybe that's like because it's a kids movie, technically, and they don't want to have like representation of like a live-in couple, like they're actually married. But appreciation for a mixed couple where the woman is the black one. Like, thank you. More represent, please. I mean, these are like really weird nitpicks for me to have, but they're nitpicks I notice. They're things I notice in patterns in television and stuff, in movies and media, that I'm like, you know what, this isn't like equal or fair. And like, most people aren't gonna notice that sort of thing, but I have a lot of attention to detail, so I'm gonna notice. Notice me, senpai.
I just realized you're really making her jacket look like a Steven Universe thing.
Yeah, that is also intentional. Yeah, it's to make it kind of look like a Steven Universe jacket, and then she's got like the Sailor Moon tank top. And then I have yet to color these because I was deciding what color to make them, but I guess just no, I'll make them match the moon on her shirt. I'll make it like.
I will say I'm not sure I like the black T-shirt, and the reason is it kind of feels like it blends in too much with her skin.
I did make her a lot darker than I was expecting. Because I was like fussing about like how it looked on my other screen.
I think you should keep her dark because dark representation is not
yeah, okay, so
common either.
I'd like to be able to find it, but there was this post about using Disney characters as an example. And I'm gonna get an example here, so let's get like okay, here's
okay. By the way, I didn't mean to make this whole conversation about race. But
no, that's totally. We're having a conversation like real people. Okay.
Well, real people?
Like real people.
Not like ants?
Not like ants. Okay, so we have, no, excuse me, I need, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have, here's skin, and then here's, like, the brown hair. Okay, so this was a post with, like, some Disney characters. So this one is Belle from Beauty and the Beast, as an example. And then they had, Tiana from Princess and the Frog. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. So we're like, do. And then we got like the really dark hair, so she's like, oh, here's Tiana, and she's got her bun. Okay. And they were like, okay, so, I think they were talking about fan art specifically, not the canon color palettes in the movie. So we've got like Belle and we've got Tiana, and they're like, we've got this dark brown for Belle's hair and this light brown for the skin, and they're like, no. You need to be taking the dark brown and making Tiana's skin like way darker. So they're like, phew. They're like, that's better.
I wonder how much her tone varies in official art.
Yeah, her tone might vary a lot in official art, I don't know, but just an example of like, okay, so you have like the black character, but you're still making her really pale, sort of thing, and they're like, no, you need to make her like a lot darker. Really dark skin is the prettiest skin on the planet. Yes, thank you, Cami. I've seen, like, I love looking at like fashion models who have really, really dark skin.
There's this one model in particular, I can't remember exactly where she's from, somewhere in Africa, I believe. But she has, she's like credited as having like the darkest
the darkest skin like just ever. She looks like a friggin' goddess drow.
She looks like a drow queen.
Like friggin' queen, dude. Want to worship that. Let's see. Does Miracle normally have freckles? I'm trying to remember.
There's a little bit of variance in her skin tone, but
for Tiana.
For Tiana, but that might be just due to like, just random
printing
things of people, of how things appear on screens, how things appear. In
how things appear on screens, how things appear in printing. Like those are huge variables. And colors are hard. No. So even right now, with my character.
In some screenshots, she almost looks like a rosy pink, and I think that's really pretty.
Like the rosy pink?
Like a dark rosy pink.
So again, I prefer to like color pick, especially for skin tones, because I always feel like I'm gonna get it wrong. And something I was doing for a while when I was doing like darker characters is I would intentionally saturate the skin tone a lot because I thought that was prettier. And then over time I was like, no, that just kind of looks incorrect and wrong, and I'm not really sure why, but I stopped doing that. But as I'm coloring this, I'm like, I made Miracle a lot darker than I thought I was going to make her, because the darkest character is supposed to be Tyree. And right now I'm looking at him, and now he's like way paler and also like way more saturated, and I'm like, should I fix that or what?
I like him. I like them as is.
You like them as is?
Yeah, the only thing is just with Miracle that dark, I think her shirt and shoes need to be a different color.
A different
Something
color. I'm gonna keep the black because I always wanted the black. I mean, this isn't like stark black, so maybe if I did have it stark black, it would create more contrast with her skin. But no, I wanted her to wear a little bit of black. No, that this is the way I've always intended to color her.
Okay.
And then lastly, I still have Adila over here, which I'm not super sure what color scheme I should go for. Like, should I really go for something way different than the yellow and orange?
Well, didn't you consider what's her personality? What's her culture?
I mean, again, I don't know enough about Muslim culture. But I really, 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 really wanted to represent a Muslim American woman. As a superhero, specifically.
So if her power is wind, why does she have antlers?
Because that's kind of how it works in my universe is... I mean, the same thing with Pink Fox over here is she's also, like, you know, a fox, but also has powers on top of that. So having any aesthetic changes to your appearance or body or anything makes you under the category of a mutant metahuman.
Okay.
But that doesn't really, like... have any effect. Like, some people are mutant metahumans without any powers, some people only have the powers, and some people have both. Okay. And there's different degrees on the spectrum of how intense a difference can be. Like, sometimes it'll be like a skin tone difference, eye color difference, hair color difference, or something. Sometimes it can be like really intense, like, oh, now you're like a half wolf man or something.
or you're a half lizard man. Like, it can be like really extreme. I admit I don't have enough of the extreme characters on like any main character good guy sections, so I should probably add some. But
I'm trying to think of,
the
like,
extreme end of the spectrum isn't entirely like important to the plot anyway, and I don't intend to represent them too intensely to begin with. Because it's still like just kind of about, you know, people and humans. Yes? Drink water.
I'm thinking of like Beast from X-Men. Like, he's entirely like...
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
he's a
big-
beast man.
Yeah, he's entirely like a big blue beast man.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also like, I have a doctorate.
I have a doctorate. Yes.
He's like very well spoken. I really like the representation of him they had in the X-Men movies. They just didn't explore him that much.
Mm-hmm.
But they made him Secretary of Mutant Affairs, which was a
Secretary of Mutant Affairs.
which was a pretty cool thing that they did with like the politics in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Why do I actually love how political that story
Wait,
is?
X-Men?
Yeah, X-Men is actually very political because they bring in like a social justice angle into it, like mutant rights and all that.
Yeah,
sort of
mutant
thing.
rights. And also, like, I mean, I guess I should rewatch some X-Men stuff, because I barely remember jack about it. But if they do a good job of exploring topics like that, that would give me some inspiration, because Mental Metas is supposed to explore some of those topics. It's not like the focus or not the focus or anything, but it is something that's relevant. Because I'm trying to do a lot of, like, comparing metahuman abilities to, like, you know, legally owning weapons. And, like, how would you regulate, you know, people, like, oh, you're in a government building, you know, you're not supposed to use your metahuman powers. How do they regulate that? Oh, you're at a school. How do they control people with their metahuman powers? I do have a lot of things with, like, the metahuman suppressant cuffs, and that was, like, kind of important, but I'm, like, humming on how much I want to keep that subplot. Even though, like, I really liked it at first, and that was, like, really important at first, but as I've been working on the project, I'm like, this is less important of a topic to the overall narrative, and I don't really want to cover it as much.
I'm just thinking of what that would be like on a school from a school security standpoint.
Yeah. So from what I was
my
starting
gosh.
with the school security is they have, like, repressant cuffs, which is pretty common in the DC universe, which is basically anything I'm using is going to be from the DC universe and never the Marvel universe, actually. Train of thought. But yeah, they sometimes in DC stuff they'll have, like, metahuman cuffs, which is usually more for, like, prisons and stuff, because yeah, I gotta have prisons for, like, the bad guys. But I'm like, okay, how would this work for, like, school security? Like, you show up to school and then you have
I
to
feel
get...
like you would need to have like a meta-human like security officer on campus all the time.
Yeah, you
That's
would.
strong enough to like intervene if something goes down.
Yeah, basically how I have it is like currently, but I am willing to rewrite it because I'm not the biggest fan of, like, the whole plot in general, is like, okay, so they go to school and then they have to get metahuman cuffs, and when you leave school you have to return the cuffs. And, like, you know, you need, like, a security officer or somebody to, like, remove them for you. And then another thing I'm trying to figure out is, like, metahumans need to be legally registered as metahumans, so if you discover you're a metahuman, you legally have to register yourself. So I'm like, okay, well, how would I have the government control that better to, like, find out if somebody is a metahuman? Because that could just happen overnight. That could happen to anyone, and it can happen overnight. So how do I have the government be more on top of making sure they're, like, finding people who are metas? I haven't, like, figured that part out yet, because I have no idea how I would regulate that myself. No, this is the wrong folder. Boop.
I think this one's done coloring. So what's this one over here? Yeah, I could start coloring this one.
This guy.
Which one is this guy? You're gonna have to be a bit more
One on
specific.
the left.
The one on the left. Don't worry about it. I'd like to add a new drawing of Fidelia, because she's like the main teacher, and this is the section of teachers. Do I have any? Okay.
So do they have a special school, or is it just a school with integrated students?
Okay, so this is another thing of how it works. Is like once you're registered as a metahuman, which is probably going to happen when you're a teenager, because how I have it work is it can develop during puberty. That's how I covered. You can't have it as a little kid. You can't be born with it. Because, like, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, I guess babies can just have bending abilities. In My Hero Academia, they develop it at age 4. Like, there's just too many children that are having superpowers. And I'm like, no. Absolutely not. So, for my lore, it's specifically... It develops during puberty. It could be the beginning of puberty, it could be towards the end of puberty, but just something revolving around puberty will activate it. So people can get superpowers overnight. Okay, I'm trying to remember what your question was. Okay, the school. So the school is a school specifically for teaching you how to control your powers. And once you're a registered metahuman, you are required to attend. That you are legally required to attend. But they also have separate courses for being a pro meta, which is the name for superheroes. They're just called pro metas. It's like you are a metahuman, but you're using your powers in a professional way to help society. So that's a separate thing. And then I have like an entire system of like, you have to go through an interview with one of your teachers in order to become a metahuman. Most schools are not very strict.
Or in order to be...
Or yeah, to become pro meta, sorry. Lots of words that I don't words good.
It's okay, that's why I'm here to check you.
Okay, yeah. It's like you have to get permission to become a metahuman. No. You just are a metahuman and you have no choice. Where am I? Okay. So yeah, most schools aren't very strict on what it takes to be a metahuman. They're like, yeah, you're good. You know how to control your powers and you want to be a pro meta. Let's go. And they're like cool with that. The school the main character goes to is a lot more strict on the qualifications it takes to be a pro meta, which is very intentional for a variety of reasons.
A couple other questions and comments.
What?
A couple other questions and comments from me. Okay.
From you, yeah.
In the middle.
Okay, in the middle.
I'm just making a random dumb comment.
Yes.
He looks like a mixture of Aizawa and Caleb.
Aizawa, yes, that is intentional. I'm trying to remember if Caleb was also intentional. I'd have to check his character bio.
Because he just looks really depressed.
He is super depressed.
Like, I'm wearing my Critical Role shirt right now, and I was looking at this earlier, and I was like, Caleb's the only one who's not smiling.
Caleb's the only one that's not smiling.
Actually, okay, Yasha's not smiling either. But
oh, Yasha's not smiling either. Yeah, I
everyone
mean, she's
else is,
also
like,
depressed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are probably the two most depressed characters.
Yeah.
On the team, so.
On the team. On the team.
Not has a good reason to be depressed too, but she keeps her chin up.
Who?
Not.
Oh, not. Okay. Sounded like you said something else entirely. I'm like, the who?
You're the who.
I'd like to be the who. But maybe I would be famous if people would care about my work.
Not really. I rarely hear people talk about the who.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine then.
And then my other comment or question.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wooden Doll Man.
Yes. Wooden Doll Man. Mr. Wooden Doll Man.
Is that his true form, like what he really looks like?
No. So, Mr. Wooden Doll Man, his superpower is inanimate object manipulation.
Okay.
He is inhabiting a wooden doll. A very tall wooden doll that he made. He's also a woodworker.
So his soul is in it?
Well, not his soul, his consciousness. So, like, his body is elsewhere.
Okay, so it's astral projection.
Yeah, it's basically astral projection, but only in inanimate objects. Like, the less organic it is, the easier it is for him to manipulate it. On top of, like, it helps for the things he possesses to have moving parts. So that's why.
So if they don't have moving parts, he can't just make it move.
I mean, yeah, there are jokes made about, like, other types of objects he's tried to inhabit before, and he's like, oh, I'm never inhabiting that again. Because people are like, have you ever been a gun before? And he's like, oh, absolutely not. Never again. I had a headache for a week. And, like, that's the only context you get. Like, nothing about that is expanded. A great deal of his dialogue is intentionally that. Stuff that's supposed to be like, oh, that sounds like an entire story, but you don't get to hear any more of it. You don't get any more context, because, like, that's part of the comedy. It's about the comedy and the mystery about his character, is to, like, have comments like that, and then not, like, expound on it. So, like, at first, like, the main character just gets to see him as a wooden mannequin, and the kids just call him Mr. Mannequin. And she's like, mannequin, that's a silly name. And then he walks in, and she basically spits out her drink, because she didn't expect it to be, like, a literal mannequin. So for a while, she thinks he is just a mannequin and doesn't know what his powers are for a while, because she's too afraid to ask. But then, like, he'll have, like, verbal hints here and there, like, you know, somebody wants to shake his hand, and he's like, oh, I don't recommend shaking my hand. I haven't sanded this one as much yet. It's because he has multiple different mannequins that he'll, like, cycle through.
So if it's less organic, the easier it is to control, why wood, then?
That is a good question. I did consider wood. I don't know enough about wood, but, like, some, like it depends on how dead the wood is. Like, if it's, like, a recently dead tree, then it's not going to work too well. It needs to be, like, really dried out, really old lumber to work with.
There's, like, a process to drying out lumber before they cut it.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how that works, but it takes a few years.
Yeah.
Before you have wood that's actually really good to use as lumber.
Yeah, so he has to use lumber that has been dead for a while. That's very thoroughly like, this is an object now. This is no longer a living tree. Yeah, he doesn't work with lumber, but he is a wood maker, and he makes lots of his own things. Like, not just, like, his own bodies that he puppets around, but, you know, just stuff for fun. Like, he makes his own furniture, just because, like, that's his hobby. He likes doing it.
Cool.
Honestly, Mannequin is one of my absolute favorite characters I've designed for Mental Metas, because he's so freaking weird. Because it's not just the puppet thing. Like, his character does not end at, lol, he's a mannequin. His personality is also Southern Baptist. He's
so like youth pastor.
Like, yes. His personality is very youth pastor. He has a very thick Southern Baptist accent. Like, that's how he speaks. And he's like very openly Christian. Like, he doesn't shy away from that. He'll reference, like, he'll be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, I'll pray for you. Like, he's very open about that and not shy about his faith. Which is also something I'm interested in representing in Mental Metas, is I have Adila, who's, like, you know, the openly Muslim one. I mean, she's wearing a hijab, that's pretty obvious. Like, I have multiple characters who are openly religious and of various faiths. And I'm like, I don't see that enough, but, like, let's go.
Totally.
Let's have characters, like, representation for multiple faiths that are, like, coexisting. So we've got, like, you know, here's the Muslim chick, here's the Southern Baptist guy. And they're all just coexisting and being superheroes together. Like, that's what it's all about, baby.
Coexist.
We're coexisting, baby.
I was actually trying to look up the origin of that earlier, because something else in our conversation reminded me of
the coexist sticker.
The coexist sticker.
Which is really good.
I've only got, like, a little bit of information so far, but some guy designed it for a contest, and it originally just included the crescent moon and the Star of David and the cross.
Yeah.
And later on, people added, like, tons of crap and made it really muddled. So I just wanted to like, I thought about maybe putting that as like a stream or a tag on my stream, but I want to make sure I understand all the history.
Yeah, all the history and
involved
context.
With the term before I use it.
Yeah.
But in general, I like the sentiment of
of
hey,
let's
we're
coexist.
all like valid.
We're all valid. Yeah. Because like, I'm sitting here and being like, okay, I'm openly accepting. So how about the group that says they're openly accepting? Are you accepting me for my faith? So I'm trying to make sure, like, acceptance is a two-way street, baby.
Mm-hmm. Two-way street. I like those.
Yeah, we're.
It's been our theme for.
It's been their theme for today.
Mm-hmm.
Respect is a two-way street. So yeah, and then thing number 3 that's really weird about my mannequin, Mr. Mannequin, he really likes D&D. And I know that sounds really weird to have like this character that's openly Christian, but guess what? Christians like D&D. You heard it here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
He really likes D&D.
So does he like possess? Does he DM and like possess the figures?
He is a DM.
And he possesses like the figures. And stuff?
No, he doesn't possess the figures, so that's not a horrible idea. I might do that. I actually hadn't considered that. I'm just imagining like, he's just in his normal wooden puppet body, and he's just a normal DM and not doing anything in particular with his powers while DMing. It's just a completely normal D&D session. But your DM is a puppet. Your DM is a giant wooden mannequin. Is it weird? Yeah, deal with it. You're in this universe. Punk.
What was I gonna ask? Okay, does he have a phobia of being out in his actual body?
No. That's a good question.
So why does he possess so much then? Why does he prefer to go?
That is a secret.
Okay.
That's also one of my favorite things about him.
As
But
long
I'm
as you've thought about it.
I'm intentionally keeping him a secret. Where he's supposed to be a mystery, where he's like a really silly mystery. I mean, look at this friggin' guy. I love Mannequin is my favorite. Like, I'm so mad I came up with this character that's like really funny and fun to play with, and yet basically he has no purpose in season 2. And I'm like, can I come up with reasons that he's useful in season 2? That would be great. Because season 2 is just so tonally different than season 1 that I'm like, I'm really not sure what to do with him at this point. And that goes for like most characters.
I really like that you're designing this in 2 very purposeful arcs, because I don't know, a lot of my favorite stuff is done like that.
Yeah, like Princess Tutu.
Like Princess Tutu is done in 2 separate but very purposeful arcs.
Yes.
Like you can't do season 2 without the groundwork laid by season 1.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tonal changes.
Yeah, the tonal changes.
Changes to characters' roles so that you get more of this thing you love, but it is developed further. A bunch of stuff has changed.
Yeah, a bunch of things are new.
And made it more interesting.
I definitely love stuff like that. So, I mean, a lot of aspects of mental metas I've been very unsure about, where I'm like, oh, well, people aren't going to like it if I do it like this. But then I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter if people like it or not, because that's not the point. The point of it, if I don't spit on my tablet, the point of it is not to be liked. The point of it is to just kind of be a story about real people with real problems.
Yeah, so like if you go the route of like the chart says, then you end up with trash.
Yeah, I'm absolutely not doing that. And
the most unique and interesting things I have found online were the ones where people no one else was involved in like shaping their story. They just did their own thing. They just wrote the thing that they would want to see.
So I'm trying to encourage myself to do that more.
So nobody gets their hands in it and ruins it.
Yeah, I'm very much resisting like and the chart says sort of thing. Like, especially with my main character, because there's so many things about her where I look at that and I'm like, people are gonna straight up hate this character. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of the point, actually, is because, like, in season 2, she becomes, like, a huge wreck, and I can see her being, like, a really hated character where people are like, oh, I don't like this character, like, what, she sucks so much, she's so mean, and she's so angry, and she's just
I wrote a character
annoying
like
and traumatized, and I don't want to follow that. And I'm like,
I don't know why I went for this angle, but I wrote a character that was really mean, and...
Oh, I think I remember the one you're talking about.
Yeah, like she's like an outcast nerd with no friends, so she just kind of is F it, and
Yeah, it just doesn't care
But
what other
the
people
way
think
I
about
portrayed
her.
in my first chapter made her look like the bully.
Yeah,
And-
you're because you were showing her being the bully first without showing first how that started, and it was, you know, she was bullied first and then became the bully to defend herself. But yeah, depending on what order you show those events will definitely change people's perspectives on the character. So, like, when I was developing Mental Meadows, it was intended to just be Season 2, where it's already, like, you know, this is where she's at. But then I needed to develop, like, how she got to that point in her life. And I ended up writing more and more and more, and then, like, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing a Season 1. Like, because there's just so much content I came up with that was like, okay, this is her backstory. It was like, well, there's so much backstory that's basically, like, here's the story. And I feel like a lot of people, like, as an audience, wouldn't like the format because you get through Season 1 and you like the formula, and you're gonna be disappointed that Season 2 is nothing like Season 1 at all, tonally.
So Young Justice.
So Young Justice, which is really interesting. Because Young Justice was... Yes, the tone for Mental Metas, I would say, is very close to Season 1 and Season 2 of Young Justice. Where, like, you have the status quo of, like, okay, here's the characters, they learn to, like, be friends with each other, they learn to care about each other, you know, they're very friendly, they're fun, and then Season 2 is, like, a 5-year skip, 5-year time skip, and then a lot of our favorite bubbly characters and happy characters are, like, very serious. I'm looking at you, Miss Martian, holy crap. Because Miss Martian was your token, like, she's the girl, and token... You know, she's the heart of the group.
Yeah, she's the bubbly one.
She's the bubbly one. She's very friendly. And then in Season 2, it's a 5-year time skip, and she's suddenly this very strict, no-nonsense type of character who gets things done and is very scary about it. And then you have to, like, wait before the show gives you explanation for why she became that way over the time skip.
It turned out really good. But I really don't like the whiplash it gives you.
Yeah, the whiplash is not great.
Justice. As long as you do it with a little bit more of a transition that makes sense.
Yeah, which is something I intend to do. Where, like, I have transition of, like, it's like there's going to be a little bit of a time skip because of certain things I need to write around, but overall, like,
another show that gave me a little bit of whiplash was Legend of Korra, and that's because seasons 1, 2, and 3 are like back to
basically next to each other.
Basically next to each other in the timeline, but they released apart from each other. But season 3 and 4, season 4 released right after season 3, but there's like a 3-year time skip.
Yeah, that was a bit of whiplash, and they should have spaced it out more.
And I didn't have enough time to process what came after that. Now, didn't turn out that bad because I actually loved a lot of the
Season 3 and Season 4 are friggin' phenomenal.
Season 3 and 4 are the best in Legend of Korra, in my opinion.
They just are.
Mostly Season 3. Season 4 has some issues, but, like, Season 4 is just... it's so good.
So tasty.
Yeah, it's... And I really like how they dealt with her PTSD. Like, she was still a strong woman, but, like, she had inner demons that were tormenting her. And
Torment.
And even when she literally confronted the demon directly, she still wasn't over it.
Still had the problems.
What are you looking for?
I'm just getting... I need a color reference for wood. I'm getting flustered because there's like a...
It's like a fruit fly.
There's like a fruit fly flying around my face. Copy.
Anyway, I'm gonna go back in the other room and continue folding laundry.
Fold laundry.
Oh, hey.
Oh, this is what I used for my skin reference.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lord, he coming. he's walking.
Yeah, he's walking.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, he walking.
Hey, Sarge is here.
Oh, is he? Hang on. Okay. Okay. Just reading something. Hi, Sarge. Hello. Sorry, I was distracted looking at my other window and checking a message. Drink water. I know you just got here, but hydrate. Couldn't get around to streaming today. Mostly just I've been doing some homework. Yeah. Sometimes, man. Let's see, how long have I been streaming?
I just realized I forgot my water.
Don't forget your water! Oh, I can move my mic back.
Where's my water? Where's my Water.
Where's my water? Yeah. Where's my water?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't know where my.
Okay. Boop. Boop. Here's my reference for. I need a reference for like the wood. That's what that's for.
Wood.
So the thing is, like, lighting and stuff makes it hard to pick a color that works.
No, I guess it was in here the whole time. It was just in a different spot. Whatever.
Whatever. Oh, that color looks way better.
Oh, Sarge said he won't be streaming today.
Yeah, I read that already.
I might do a bonus stream of Animal Crossing.
When?
Today?
Today?
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Do you want, baby? Unless you want to, wait, have you checked the theater listings for, like, times yet? Like, did we
I have not. I figured when we're ready to go, we'll just look.
Okay, well,
Because there's plenty around here.
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities around here, but I kind of wanted you to check theater stuff because I wanted to go see Sonic. Hello, touch on. Yeah, could you just? This thing is so annoying.
What's annoying?
Oh, just the lack of my tablet letting me zoom in and out when I want to sometimes, but then when I do it by accident, then it works.
Oh,
I'm still
yes,
getting
that.
used to this tablet. It's freaking annoying.
Tablet.
Drink water. I need so much water. I'm like getting toasty.
Oh, you can open the door again.
Yeah, I can open the door again. And that'll make it easier to hear me yet. Not that she's there, but
if she decides to come back.
if she decides to come back. I like customers. Okay. I guess
I have a couple pieces of clothing that got purple, and it's sad.
Wait, what?
I have a couple pieces of clothing that got purple in the wash, and I'm not sure what it was with. I have a theory what it was sitting with, but I'm not 100% sure what it was.
He wears khaki shorts. This is more like his casual outfit. His superhero
like he's gonna go.
His superhero outfit is a bit different. His superhero outfit is very silly. Like on purpose. Because I just want everything about him to be like, wow, that's silly. What am I looking at?
One second.
Nani?
1 second.
Okay. Ba-doop.
Hello.
Hello! Hi! Welcome.
Hello.
I can go over here and get your little icon.
Yeah, get that real fella boy out there.
So
And
what's up, Sergeant in Charge?
I'm tired, but it's
I hear
because
that.
yeah.
I've been doing an okay job of getting up early myself, but then I've been wanting to like go back to bed.
Yeah,
Which I did
just
for a
wanna,
little
like,
bit.
Go back to bed.
Yeah, that's been a life change. That's been a lifestyle change I've been going through. Just getting up earlier. Just
Yeah.
I was going to. Well,
I
I
know-
was going to be doing a lot of like the weeding with my brother's backyard, but it's been snowing up where I'm living at.
Mm-hmm.
Who joined?
Did somebody join?
Get
Oh my gosh! Hi!
Oh my love! Yeah, hello!
Hello!
Oh, hi, babe.
it! Like, hey, if you're just doing that villager move out grinding, you should just join us in the Discord because Vicky's streaming.
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want while I'm streaming. I'm just doing art. I'm just coloring some drawings. There's nothing special about what I'm doing today.
Oh. Stitches will move out today. It will be a thing. He will get out.
And then we'll have stitches.
Well, Aki was like, "Are you gonna get Muffy?" Well, I'm like, Muffy's newish. She won't move.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
she's
that.
gonna be
so
stubborn.
glad you told me.
That's fine. We'll get her eventually. One day she will be mine.
Eventually.
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 We have an empty plot.
I realized I missed Cherry Blossom season, so I may have to go back anyway. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewind just so I can enjoy more of it because I wasn't playing consistently during Cherry Blossom season, and I want to enjoy it to its fullest. And also Bunny Day season sucks. So
yeah.
Bunny Day season is a little lame.
I kind of am enjoying collecting the eggs. However, I do remember when the game first came out, it was like the second week after it came out was Bunny Day, and people were going in freaking insane because they were just trying to get like normal stuff done on their islands, and everything was eggs.
Well, they So, want to know something really funny, and that has to do with Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get merch for my favorite anime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bunny Day got it canceled.
What?
So one of the characters had these balloons that look like the Bunny Day balloons from Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
So they had to pull the line and redo it to put it back out.
Wow.
That sounds really weird.
Well, they looked nigh identical. I saw them. I was like, Bunny Day, why'd you do this to us?
Curse. The curse of the Bunny
Oh
Day.
man.
I don't think that's really fair to like copyright a specific balloon color scheme. I don't know.
Well, no, when I say these were like on point, these were like near perfect replica.
I don't think it's specific enough to count. In my personal opinion, if I was the one making the legal decisions.
Well, you know, it's Nintendo. They how they are about their IP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, because the Bunny Day balloons are the total identity of Animal Crossing. I'm not saying they can get away with it. I'm just saying it's not right.
Yeah.
Not right.
Let's see. Where is the? I forgot how to switch my date and times on my settings. Users, no theme, notifications, system. Oh, is it because I have the internet on?
Oh, this one got a weird headache. It's like a pounding.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Amiibo themes, notifications, auto sleep. Come on.
You know, I would love to pick whichever theater has like the best snacks.
Oh,
It'd be nice
yeah.
to know.
Because you a snacky baby. I mean, you know me. It's a million times cheaper to just smuggle in your own snacks. And my purse is big enough for it.
The only ones
Yeah.
that we have on hand are crunchy snacks. That would make a lot of sense.
Okay, well, we've got granola bars and
That's
Pop
pretty
Tarts, which are very
pretty
sugary, but you know,
Internet.
like what else?
Yeah, I like.
Dang it! Now I'm just gonna go to Winco and just stock up on a few snacks to sneak into a theater.
Sneak
Well,
to a theater, sneak.
and I'm not even sure where to get soft pretzels. Period. Other than a movie.
I
theater.
do, but I know where to get soft pretzels. They're delicious.
It's like theaters make all of their money off of the expensive and overpriced snacks, dude.
Yeah, that's how they make their money.
That's how they make
I
their
mean,
money.
Yeah.
Okay, that
You
doesn't.
sneak stuff in, you're the reason the movie prices go up.
Oh man.
I mean, I could just not eat snacks either way. The movie price is gonna go up just because I chose not to have a snack. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to get. There we are. Okay.
No, I don't mind buying snacks at the theater. Like, I understand that. That's fine. It's drinks at the theater.
Oh,
That
yes.
up like the hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
That's
I watch Food Theory.
Let's see.
And,
Well, not McDonald's, $1 drinks and guys, but like I don't know. You think it's bad at like IHOP when it's like $2 or $3? Try $5 for a small at a movie theater.
Oh yeah.
And then
Like they
Oh,
upcharge like
jeez.
1,000%.
or a large for $5.50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so you may as well
Man.
charge it because it's only an extra quarter, but it's just like, dude.
Dude. Yeah, that's how they get you. It's like, oh, I might as well get a medium because it's an
Yeah,
extra
I'll
quarter.
absolutely take a medium because F those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I've moved my date back so that I can go cherry blossom season. Hopefully, Stitches will leave.
Aw.
Like, dude, you need to go.
Stitches.
Yeah.
Go. Go.
You
We
have
want
people who
you.
want you to come visit.
Yeah, we want you to
Live
move
with
to our
them.
island.
I need to renew my Nintendo subscription to have you people come over.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I did a yearly subscription, I think.
Yeah, we got a yearly plan and also a family plan because Aki and I both play on the same Switch and we're like, oh, really? That's how that
I
works?
got pins today.
Hey, we gotta do something about that.
Cherry blossom!
Okay.
I was like waiting for it, and I was so sick during cherry blossom season in the game.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing anything. I was literally sleeping.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you were sick a lot.
Oh
lately.
man. Yeah, I was thinking about you when cherry blossom seasons was going on with you, babe. Like, oh man.
Yeah. But luckily, this is the Animal Crossing with the least amount of rude consequences for time traveling. So you are good.
Yeah.
Do we even see Mr. Rossetti pop up at all in this game?
I
or...
think you can see Rossetti at the Brewster's coffee
Cafe.
shop.
Ah, okay.
I've seen screenshots of him, but I've never seen him personally.
You ever just accidentally turn off Animal Crossing? And when I say accidentally, maybe sometimes intentionally, just to hear the Rossetti rants.
No. I don't like being yelled at.
Oh, hello, Sarah. I see you. Hi. I'm just doing some coloring. Nothing special today. I'm just kind of vibing with my friends. And then my friends are using my chat to just do Animal Crossing things, which I'm 100% cool with, because I'm like, yeah, what am I going to do that's so interesting for people to watch? Color sketches? Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, no. Sketches? Let's see. There we go. Okay. I'm just trying to get people to leave.
I don't know what's up with my app.
Connection.
Probably.
Yeah. It's fine, dude.
I like the cherry blossoms, though. They make me smile.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Cherry blossom!
Like, if cherry blossoms could be permanent Animal Crossing, I would be happy.
I want to hack my game, so there's always cherry blossoms, and I want to hack real life, so there's also always cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms everywhere.
Cherry blossoms everywhere all the time.
Yes.
Cherry blossoms in the spring, cherry blossoms in the summer, cherry blossoms in the fall, cherry blossoms in the winter, even if it's snowing and blizzard, cherry blossom blizzards.
Don't remind me, it's been snowing all April so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Like, I think Sarge, you're in Utah, right?
I am.
And then, are you still in Idaho?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm just keeping track because a lot of my friends have been moving around a lot lately, so I'm like, wait, where is everybody?
Well, I'm really aiming to try and move up to Idaho towards the end of this year. So if I can get a really good remote job, I just want to be closer to Kit. Is all.
Yeah.
So.
I
want to be closer to my boyfriend too.
I'm like, give me the cherry blossoms because you know what? The thing is, I wonder if I can kick people out on the day KK Slider's here.
I don't know. I rarely play on Saturdays.
Well, because Stitches is sitting watching KK Slider, and I'm like, dude, you gotta go.
You gotta go. And he's like, hey, I'm here for the free weekly concert. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Get out!
Get out! It's like imagine you're living island life and you're here to enjoy the once a week concert, and then your island representative comes in. They're like, I'm gonna need you to leave.
Well, it's not like he won't be going to a place where he's well loved.
Yeah.
So.
Because I guess we just had Margie move out yesterday. So we're like, yes, Margie, you're fine, but like we have another elephant in town, so you gotta go. Tia's better.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to get like Stitches to leave, not because he's like, but because he doesn't fit with my aesthetic, man.
He doesn't fit with my aesthetic, man. I'm sorry. You could use being more Asian.
Yeah.
You could realize I was still muted that whole time.
Well, it's not Asian. It's lore
yeah. I never heard you at all, Aki.
Oh, okay. So 2 days ago she asked to move out. Yesterday she was in boxes, and today she was today's an empty plot.
Empty plot.
So today's like the last day to figure it out, unless I want to like rewind time to make
sure that the day stays the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying my best.
No, you're good. No pressure.
Okay. Like if it's like too much and you don't want to do it anymore, just let me know. We'll go do a village.
Yeah, if you get bored and you get tired of doing it, like just let us know. No pressure whatsoever.
Well, I'm trying to find where I get cherry blossom recipes.
Oh, you get them out of balloons generally.
Out of what?
You generally get them out of balloons during cherry blossom season.
Okay. Right. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm gonna hold on to this cherry petal I have.
Want me to mail you some of my cherry petals, babe?
I'm good for now. I have to reset. Well, not reset. I'm gonna save.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna see if Stitches will leave. And if he doesn't leave, I'll move to the next day and kick him out. I'm like, I love you, Stitches. You cute, but you're not welcome here no more.
I need more important people like Kabuki and Shino.
Yeah.
Are you? I don't care who moves out. All I want, the only one who's staying is Raymond forever.
Raymond is
Audie's staying forever. She doesn't get to leave. Everybody's like, well, doesn't Audie not fit? And I'm like, I make Audie fit. Audie's gonna live here.
Because Bob has asked to move out before, and I'm like, no, Bob, we paid a lot of money for you on Nukazan. You are our slave.
You're our slave forever.
Yeah, you're our slave forever.
Forever.
Yeah, if this doesn't work, I'll just kick him out. You know, I'll do.
If you want my favorite villager of all time, I can sell you.
I could buy and sell you, old man.
I could buy and sell you, old man.
Yeah, if I have to. The thing is, I did not talk to them when they have thought bubbles, so the thought bubbles moved around.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I wanted to double check that you were using a guide to help you out. So.
Yeah. But the thing is, I moved days and there's no bubbles right now, so I'm like, is this a Saturday thing because KK Slider's here? Nobody wants to leave?
It's possible. You could just, like, I found several different guides on how to do it. One was, like, advance 1 month and then rewind 1 month and forward 1 day or something like that. I don't know. I was just use a guide to help because that will help you avoid, like, snafus that you might not be expecting.
Well, I went on to the beginning of the month, so.
I was disappointed to find out there was no April Fool's event.
Yeah.
I thought there was
Cherry
going to be.
Season is a bit bigger than April Fool's in Japan.
What is?
Cherry Blossom season starts on the 1st of April.
But they don't even technically have an event for Cherry Blossom season in Animal Crossing. It's just the cherry blossoms are there. That doesn't make it like a mini game event.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas in New Leaf, they have the cherry blossoms and April Fools has its very own event.
Oh. Okay, come on, flower petal. I say you come here. No, it disappeared.
Get on my net.
Didn't listen. Come on, run, 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 Where is Stitches? You will be leaving. I will hit you with a net if I have to.
Give Stitches more stitches. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Did you need like a gear tower? Just asking.
A gear tower?
Yeah, it's a tower of gears for like a steampunk aesthetic.
I'll take one.
Because I think I...
Yo, you want to know what's hype? I actually have some steampunk glasses, and I actually mashed them up a little. I made an outfit literally called the Sarge, and it's like a little army helmet with steampunk glasses and the green power armor with some army boots. It's amazing.
I literally lose that balloon. Well, that's annoying.
I really like steampunk stuff. It's kind of sad steampunk's going out of fashion.
Yeah.
It was really popular several years ago, and people don't really care about it anymore.
Yeah, I lost a balloon.
Existed.
Yeah. We never really got any franchises that got popular, that made good use of the aesthetic. We only had the aesthetic everyone loved, without actually having any franchises that really represented it well.
Yeah. We need some kind of IP that represents steampunk really well. But we just don't got anything. We almost had Hullabaloo, but that just got canceled or something. Like, it just disappeared off the face of the earth and never got finished.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Darn.
But, yeah, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Hullabaloo, it was a planned 2D animated film that was coming out in the early 2010s. Like, pretty soon after Princess and the Frog and Tangled, because that was the transition where Disney was like, oh, we give up on 2D animation. We're not doing 2D animation anymore. And they haven't since. Just like 2D animation. Theatrical 2D animation is just kind of dead in the West. And so there was some studio creating this movie called Hullabaloo. That was a 2D theatrical animated film about, like, steampunk ladies. And it looked freaking awesome because they had like a teaser trailer and everything. And then it just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
It just never got finished. And I'm like, dude, that looked like it was gonna be friggin' killer. And I would have been all over that film. Like, even if it ended up being like a really mediocre film, I still would have been like, yeah! Because 2D animation is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Drink water.
Let's see. Save the game again. Going to go find me a Stitches and smack him.
And give him a big snack. Alright.
You have to move your net a little bit.
So I need another...
Did we lose Sarge?
Yeah, he goes in and out. There he is again.
Oh, I'm back.
Hello, back. I'm from...
Wowie.
Okay. What's the name of the actor for Jacob Black? Taylor Lautner. That's what it is.
Yes, Taylor Lautner.
What about Taylor Lautner?
Taylor Lautner.
I'm using photos as skin tone references, and I want somebody who's authentically Native American to get their right skin tone. Oh. Because I'm really bad at picking skin tones.
Before, but yeah, he's one of the very few, like, big name actors.
Yeah, one of the few big name actors that are Native American. So I just wanted to, I was like, you know what? I would rather my Google search history have Taylor Lautner than Jacob Black, because I was about to type Jacob Black.
Oh no, bro.
Yeah. And I'm like, which one would I rather be in my search history? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care about my search history. Like, if you're some FBI agent, like, being super snoopy and looking at my search history, you're not going to find anything interesting. You're just going to be like, why did this person search Lenny Face 8 times in the same week? Like, that's all you'll get.
Okay, there's Stitch's house.
Okay.
And it's empty. He's wandering. Are you wandering, boy?
Like, is it going to be weird if I have a... If I have a shirtless
in her
Jacob
house,
Black
Faith
on
is
my
in
screen?
her house.
If I bring
Boy,
it over to Photoshop where everyone's gonna see it, it's gonna be weird.
It's your time to move on.
I'm trying to decide which picture to use, because, again, lighting is a huge one. Okay, this one's pretty good.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself out a second.
Copy image. Go over here and paste our reference. Whoa, those colors are way different on this computer. What the heck? Oh my gosh. The colors are just not consistent between my two monitors.
Oh no.
Yeah, like this is really frustrating because I'm trying to like pick out colors.
My iPhone decided to be rude. Here, I'm gonna update here real quick. So
yeah, go
let's
ahead.
see what
Do what
that
you need.
says.
Okay, we're gonna do the thing where we. Okay. Filter, there it is. Okay, filter, blur. Which one was? Oh, pixelate.
Let's see.
I haven't tried any of these. Color halftone. Okay, let's see what that
Because
is.
I know you're here
Oh,
somewhere.
that looks awful.
So
No, that's not what I want. Okay, filter, pixelate, crystallize.
So help me, I'm about to make you cry, boy.
Didn't do anything.
I'm tired of hunting.
Oh,
man. Like lower quality, but that's not what I wanted.
There's
Pixelate,
Huck.
fragment.
Are you hiding in one of my other villagers' houses? No. If you are, I'm gonna be ticked.
Filter.
Is this Stitches we're talking about?
Vicky, you could copy into another file and then make it really, really small.
Well, he's not
yeah,
Naughty's
well,
house.
I just want to, I mean, for my future reference, I'm like, which is the normal pixelate? Okay, mosaic. Okay, I think mosaic is what I want, but it's still like, I have to make it really big. Pixelate. But what's pointillize? I need to... Oh, that's...
I didn't know mosaic was a feature. I'm gonna have to try that sometime.
Filter, pixelate, mosaic.
That might be helpful next time I'm trying to make a pixel pattern out of a photo.
Yeah.
Hello.
There we go. So this way I'm kind of like more fixated on the individual colors. And then I can kind of pick something from there. I'm like, what kind of...
Nice!
So, because I'm like, what kind of shade do I want for, like... Because I need, like, a proper skin tone. But again, it looks so different on my second monitor. That I just...
Okay, well, here's some general color theory advice for you.
Yes, color theory advice. I could use it. I'm really bad with colors, actually, for an artist.
The color of something is going to be referred to as the mid-tone. If you were to divide the tones of an object into 4 basic ones from light to dark, you're looking for the second lightest.
Okay, second lightest. That sounds doable.
It's just, where the heck are you hiding?
Stitches doesn't want to go!
Yeah, Animal Crossing characters just don't want to be found when the time comes.
Like highlight, mid-tone, I can't remember the 2 names of the different shadows, but there's like shadow and then like the darker shadow.
Yeah.
And then you also have reflected light.
Are you hiding in the store?
For like the second one.
Capitalism won't save you now, Stitches!
He's hiding in the store!
He's trying to use capitalism! Get out!
Get out! Get out! Get out! How do I kick you out?
You know, people talk about whether or not Animal Crossing is like capitalism or communism, and I'm just like, I don't think it's either of those things. I don't think we have a word for it, but it's an economic system where one person does all the work.
It's saving the game again.
And everybody else is the benefit.
Deep breaths.
Personally, I just think it's capitalistic anarchy, in my honest opinion.
Capitalistic anarchy.
I mean, it's just more like, you know, Tom Nook's just like, he seems to be the big cheese wherever you go in all these games, but then like he kind of just seems to just like be super chill with a lot of his business and all that, mostly because it's just always built on like the trust that you as the player, you're gonna pay him back on everything else, and then yeah, so it's just like there's a lot of mutualism going on with it. So.
I mean, yeah, people get guff for you being like, he's a vicious loan shark or whatever. I'm like, he's really not though. Like if we translate what he does into real life, like, oh, he gives you a loan with no interest and no deadlines.
Yeah, he's like a really awesome landlord, if you want to put it that way, you know.
Like an actual awesome landlord.
He's actually a king.
Well, that's doing that. Will we figure out how to get Stitches to Get out.
Get out.
Stop hiding from us, Stitches, and leave.
Well, it's not that I don't love him, but he needs to go.
Okay.
I've been holding him on. I've been holding on to him for other people. It's time for him to find a new home.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm being mean to Stitches. It's just, he's just being a pain right now.
He's been a pain. Every time I try to kick him out, he doesn't want to go. Oh! Do you have the thinking? No, you're fishing! Ah!
Oh, crap. Wow.
Come on, man!
He looks
Holy
like
crap.
he was thinking, so I was excited.
You're like, I hear a gasp like that, I assume you just found a tarantula.
I'm gonna go like that, and I assume she just found, like, I don't know, her favorite villager or something.
Oh yeah, that's also a type of gasp I would expect to hear if she found, like, Shino while villager hunting or something.
No, I was just excited. I was hopeful he was gonna leave.
I was hopeful.
I basically would make a gasp like that when I first saw Raymond in my camper site.
Yeah, you found him in your campsite, right?
Yeah, he just showed up.
He just showed up. He's like, hey, and you're like, hey.
He's like, yes.
Let's go.
It is that time.
And then I've made him wear a maid outfit, and I've made him wear a magical girl outfit.
Oh, I do like magical girl.
I do like things that are magical.
What a magical lady. We're gonna get to that very soon.
What if you could draw my favorite boy Mitch in a magical girl outfit?
Oh, I need water for that one.
I mean, I'll DM you the deets on that one. Okay. I can commission you for that. So.
If no bubbles appear today, I'm going to have to move to Sunday. So that's somebody.
Minecraft streamer ninja.
Wait.
Like,
why are we
I
talking
don't.
about ninjas?
I'm. The thing is, because I didn't talk to anybody, I figured the thought bubble should still appear, even though I time traveled back. But
I mean, the guides I recommended.
Bless you, babe.
Time travel.
That was me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
I was like, why are you blessing me? I didn't sneeze.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's just like it's funny.
Adorableness is just contagious.
And adorableness is
Apparently
contagious.
we have similar sneezes.
Okay.
Big cat.
Bitches, don't hide in your house!
Don't lie to
You're
yourself.
supposed to leave. You need to go. It's time to get out.
What time of day are you at in your game?
In the morning.
In the morning. About 1 p.m. is where I read they're most likely to be out of their homes.
Okay. Then I'm going to close the door. I'm going to close the game.
Close the door on Stitches. He's going to be trapped in my closet.
Leave Stitches in the basement until he finally decides to leave.
And then I'm going to go to system settings. I had it at 8 a.m. because I wanted to see what they were offering me. Let's see, data management. System. In time.
Oh, my allergies.
Okay, we want PM and we'll go to 1 PM and we'll hit OK. You will leave, little.
Whoa, what was that?
No,
A lot of noises that happened just now.
I do like noises, I'll tell you what.
I'm trying to train myself to become a voice actor.
A voice actor. Oh, yeah.
I was going for innocence.
I can't.
I understood.
I understood this. Yeah, I'm a normal person in America. I know what a Disney movie is.
Let me tell you about an indie studio named Disney.
Disney studio. Okay. You will freaking leave. It will happen,
Leave,
Stitches. You have no say.
Leave!
In today's episode of Animal Crossing, the love of my life basically is trying to get Stitches off her island.
Will she be successful? Stay tuned.
I'm trying.
She's like,
You know?
right now.
He like never wants to go, and I'm like, why do you want to stay? I don't talk to you.
Because
I
your
don't do
island is
anything.
awesome. He likes it here. Maybe he's very introverted, and he likes that you don't like hover over him. I mean, I would be.
He needs a fairy tale for it.
Come to the fairy forest, Stitches. You know you want it.
It's 1 o'clock and you're hiding in your house! Ah!
Okay, that's just my life. Of course it's 1 o'clock and I'm hiding in my house. Are you kidding me?
1 o'clock and you're not even out of bed yet on some days.
Well, no, he's like, oh, I'm gonna be here, you know, he's like, I'm hiding in the store, I'm doing this other thing, and then he's like,
just
oh,
living
I'm
his best
hiding
life.
in the room. I'm like, dude, you need to have the thought bubble. Please have the thought bubble. Just leave.
Of any of the ones I assume will be in their house all the time, I would think it would be lazy villagers.
Right. Definitely me.
Like, just leave. Go. You know? You have people who love you and want you, and
Vicky, if we get this, we're gonna have to have
a fairy tale forest.
Wait, what, Aki?
If we get Stitches, we're gonna have to have a conversation about Boomer.
About Boomer.
We don't talk about Boomer.
Why are we not talking about Boomer?
Because she's insinuating that my son and bestie Boomer should leave next in order to make room for Muffy. And I love Boomer so much.
I'm trying to avoid some redundancies, you know, like
I
we
understand.
currently have lazy villagers. Do we really need a third lazy villager?
Yes.
Lazy villagers are the best.
Oh, they're great, yes, but
Well, there's Stitches, but he's working out.
He's working out.
I won't force it until it gets to the point where, like, oh man, we don't have any more people we were planning to kick out. Oh.
Oh, crazy, weird.
Let's see what's for sale in the store today, really quick. Why? What? How much money is that, and why is it so much money?
Vicky, what kind of store or shop or service should Stitch's house be?
I'm kind of feeling like a candy store.
If that's the case, I'm gonna have to rework a few things. So, like, I already am having Boom run, like, a vintage toy store.
Oh, well, if there's a toy store, then obviously Stitches. He's the poster
I know,
shop
but
for toy store.
So I'd have to come up with a different idea for him. Like, he was specifically, like, vintage toys.
Yeah, vintage
because
toys
I want
are pretty different.
I want to lean into the aviator vibe he's got. Although I could have more of, like, an aviation vibe to him. Or maybe he's like
Okay, I went in the store and I came out, so hopefully he'll be done working out. He'll be thinking about leaving.
Don't even think about Bruno. Don't do it.
And then as for, I was already planning to have Flora run a candy store.
Oh, Flora.
Yeah.
Well, Flora should have flowers.
She should have what?
She should have
flowers.
Yeah, Flora.
What's Flora?
Oh,
I'm just
have
saying
to just
but like.
flower shop per se. That was going to
Stitches, will you move, please?
Oh.
Please.
No, moving one of the houses over by the docks so that we can have somebody who's like the dock worker or something like that.
I work at the dock. That's why they call me Doc.
Quickest way to kick out any villager. Oh.
You're looking it up now?
Deep sigh.
Even when tell Isabel they're no longer wanted around? No, that's New Horizons. That's not New Leaf. No, it is New Horizons. Never mind. La la la.
La la la.
It's time to get the bell out.
And Isabella evict villagers.
Not that I know of.
Dang it! Does hitting villagers make them leave? No.
Language or clothing. And the purpose of that...
Most of your audio was muffled just now, Aki. Try again.
You can either reset their language, like their catchphrases, or their clothing.
Yeah, it's for language and clothing.
Yeah, the purpose of that is like, oh, if you've got like a movement from like a street pass or something, okay, there wouldn't be a street pass Horizon, but if you got some kind of a random move-in that came from somebody else,
yeah, like if you bought somebody from Nookazon and maybe they don't say something appropriate that you want.
Yeah, you can reset it if they say something appropriate. You can reset it if they're wearing something in it.
Yeah. He's not leaving. How do I get first you want to start talking to them if they're a new villager. I talked to Muffy though.
We don't talk about leaving.
Don't leave.
Let's see. Can you kick out, villager, talk to them?
I'm now just getting all these weird ideas just to make we don't talk about Bruno like parody thing, but just apply it to Animal Crossing, and then just like kind of come up with all the random grievances players probably have with like some of their villagers or something like that, and then just try and work them into the lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to get Stitches to go, cause it.
I mean, Aki and I already did check to see, is there a Bruno in Animal Crossing? And the answer is no. It's quite a shame.
The answer is, in other languages, yes, but they called him Butch in the US version.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm just trying.
I mean, you can't say I'm talking about Bruno if you change his name, so...
Okay, I'm gonna save and end. So golly gee, this is a headache and a half. Okay. If it doesn't work on Saturday, we're just gonna jump to the next day, won't we?
Go ahead and jump.
Let's see if I can get him to leave. I'm like very close to praying.
Oh my gosh, dude. Animal Crossing makes you turn to religion.
Yeah.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
You want forgiveness? Try religion.
Oh.
I will stand Spider-Man 3 my whole life. It's so good.
I'm just, it's like, I've said it before when we've talked about it, there are infinitely worse superhero movies out there, and Spider-Man 3 is not one of them, so...
Spider-Man 3 is not one of them.
I'm talking to Levi.
I love Spider-Man 3.
I understood what you said, but you're still very muffled. Are you covering your mic, Aki?
No, it's not covered at all.
Okay, that sounds better.
I'm pretty close to it.
Don't eat the mic, Aki!
No, I felt that.
Let's see where to go. Stitches is not in his house, hallelujah, and he's not working out, and he's not sweeping as far as I can tell. He's not fishing, and he's not over with Picnic Spider, so hopefully he will be gone. Walking around.
Hallelujah.
Sir, it is time for you to plot your leaving.
Whoa. What was that?
I think Link picked a fight.
Oh no.
There's
Muffy.
Link, you're supposed to be a good boy.
Yeah. There's Muffy. So Muffy's there. There's my little takoyaki octopus.
Takoyaki.
No.
There's Audie. There's Faith. Faith's sitting down.
Good.
Don't move, Faith. I'm tired of you asking to leave. I know you're a starter villager, but you're not allowed to leave until Stitches goes.
It's like you gotta wait in line, honey.
Stitches is not in his house, so where's he hiding? He's hiding in the store kitten. There he is.
Stitches.
Are you thinking, my friend?
The mayor wants you.
Drinking a drink.
Have you seen any of them with thought bubbles recently?
Yes.
Okay.
I told you it was Huck, and then it was Faith.
I said recently, like before you rewound it to April 1st. I mean, after you rewound it to
today?
Today, after you rewound it to April 1st, have you seen any thought bubbles at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump a couple days ahead, see if I can get another thought bubble.
Because you need to make sure you're getting thought bubbles at all before you bother resetting the day over and over again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nuances to it.
Yeah, it's
obnoxious. First things first, there are prom tiaras in my store, so I'm gonna buy those before.
Just let it be more like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. That game was good.
Yeah.
Even though, like, everyone was telling me, like, oh, this is a watered-down Animal Crossing. I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, it has a lot of really great features that real Animal Crossing games just don't have. Most particularly the furniture, where they had very fantasy furniture that did not care about the laws of physics, and it was freaking great. And y'all sleeping on... Y'all sleeping on this great furniture. I really miss my bubble furniture, where it's just bubbles that float and then villagers can sit on them or be inside the bubbles and float around. I really miss my bamboo starry set. That set was gorgeous, and I'm like, why don't they just have this in New Horizons? That would be great.
Yeah!
Come on.
I got my little tiaras.
Tiara?
So there we go. So now I'm gonna do... Yeah, there were prom tiaras in there. And then I'm gonna do the cheat. Which is, I guess,
going to cheat.
So help me, one of you will move.
Please.
Yeah, I think they might not because KK Slider's here.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with KK Slider, but I'm not entirely sure of all the mechanics anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what all the variables are. I just know a few because I've tried it before.
I know. I'm like, once I get Stitches to move, he will be in boxes the next day. So I will jump him to box day, and then I will be like, someone come get him!
It's box day!
I will come.
I have a particular set of skills that makes me a nightmare for villagers like you.
For villagers like you.
Oh my gosh.
Come now, peasants.
Speaking of peasants.
Yes, Saki? I have
Do
introduced
these
you to
guys
something very
know...
important.
Do these guys know Booby?
Guys, are you familiar with a VTuber named Booby? B-U-B-I?
Can't say that I... No.
Because I've introduced
He's ruined.
It is ruined, Aki.
Oh.
I'm like,
Oh,
I have this
no.
forbidden knowledge and now you must too.
Is it a VTuber?
Yeah, so it is a VTuber. that I introduced to Aki. I was like, by the way, here's Booby. B-U-B-I.
He looks a lot like Matt.
And so this guy checks off everything on the attractive anime man checklist, like everything. And,
Oh boy.
And he's got the voice to match.
He looks a lot like Malleus from Twisted Wonderland.
Yeah,
You can't just look up a picture.
You can't.
You
just
need
look
the
up,
voice.
You need to hear the voice. He's got the voice to match it.
On a scale of 1 to corpse husband, how is it?
Pretty up there. I mean, I could just like play a little bit of it on stream, and then you guys could listen in.
No,
Okay.
you'll make me blush too hard.
What?
No, you'll make me blush too hard.
Yeah, I'll do it. Let me get on over here.
I was the one who brought him up, but no.
I'm doing it.
Oh no.
I mean, you guys need to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but they won't get audio if they're listening just over Discord.
Yeah, I know. So you guys, you go ahead and like switch over to listening to my stream.
Yeah, so let us know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll listen to it when I don't have to plot murders of stuffed bears.
Stuffed bears.
I'm like, I will listen to it once Stitches is gone.
All right.
Will you while I set it up?
He's incurred my ire.
Right about. Here we go.
Dang it, Stitches.
Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. It's coming down. It's coming.
And then once Stitches
Here
is
we
done,
go.
I'll try and
Here is
travel
the
back to
first
Cherry Blossom
slide.
season.
It says my name.
Dude,
Now, chat, if
don't
you
you
would be
do
so
that!
kind
You're not
as
supposed to
repeat
talk to her!
my name.
You're supposed to leave!
Infernal Beelzebub, Anarchiat, cruel, the apocalypse, the opposite of divine, prince of suffering and torment, master
Go back
of all
to the
sin,
shadows!
conqueror of the underworld,
Okay,
and king of all
I may
demon
have
kinds.
to-
Amazing,
may
I
have
know.
to-
But more about me, more about me. Of course.
Okay,
Do you want to
I'm
know
just
more
getting
about
this
me? Why
stream
don't
loaded
you?
up.
Next up on the next slide. That's the question correctly. I can increase size at will.
Just getting this stream loaded.
Any size.
I can
Any
hear it
size.
through.
I can do an Iron Mouse impersonation.
Remember?
No, you can't rule.
I just realized I can hear him over the Discord. I wonder what that is.
Things that I dislike. I dislike.
Sorry, that's me.
That's fine.
knives.
Anyway, I don't know if anybody heard that but me.
Disgusting.
So
Truly.
just
I heard it.
Vile
But I heard it a little bit. It's like, wow, okay. He sounds like a dapper gentleman.
On my property. Name
Alright,
like
so
that.
I'm gonna pull
Don't
up
you
my
know
phone.
who I am? You know my
I'm
disdain
gonna
for
go to
monkeys, don't you?
YouTube on my phone.
Suggest it. Again.
Because
also,
so
just a reminder, he's not entirely PG.
I'm glad we understand each other.
I'm not
Oh,
listening
I'm skipping
to
around.
him.
Anyway,
I'm-
just
I'm
a little
going-
sample of that. So Beast
I'm
Bird
learning
knew
how
who
to
this guy
kick out
was.
villagers. Quickest way to kick out villagers. Thank you. Please.
Take out villagers. Oh no, my girlfriend.
Take 'em out.
What's she doing?
I'm not taking them out. I'm kicking them
I'm
out.
kicking him out. Not dig him out.
Take him out.
Dig him out. Anyway, so
Where's that clip? Hey, I got a joke for you, cuz my ex still misses me, but his aim is getting better.
his
Yeah,
name
that's
is
gonna
getting
be me.
better.
Yeah.
Get it? Because marriage is terrible. Oh, jeez.
No, that was good.
Here comes the dude. Hello, dude. Welcome.
Let's get some dude.
There he is. He is here. Bro.
I think when I see Mr. Mannequin, here comes the boy.
I mean, you know what? It's time.
Asking for a fish or a bug or some other request like purchasing one of Ellen's items. It's frustrating.
Maybe, I think you need to have an asset that's just like a glittery filter you can turn on at any minute. Oh.
They have actually getting them to
Do you know how satisfying that is to be able to do that to one of my OCs?
the where I live. Did a video about
Wow, this is great.
friendship forever.
Okay, VP.
Yeah.
I have an asset request.
What?
For one of
I have an asset request.
Asset request.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, visually, like a glittery shoujo bubbles filter.
Okay. Let me
Which
get
I
out my
can
phone
probably-
and actually write that down.
Yeah.
someone asks to move out and you tell them to stay, there is a 5-day cooldown until
Let's
another
see.
villager has to move. And it won't be the same villager that
Okay, VTuber assets.
Never asked to move out. Unless you move in another villager, then they're
Okay, glittery, glittery shoujo filter.
Bubble.
Glittery bubble shoujo. No, don't autocorrect. Shoujo. I meant to write shoujo. Filter. Alright, anything else?
Can you make an asset that's like a just like a singular sound effect, and I can just press a button and it'll go and then stop?
There should absolutely be a way to do that, but I'm not sure what I would do to do that off the top of my head. Other than you just have like, you know, like a Windows Media Player, and you just have it on the side.
Yeah. I need anime WoW.
I do have anime WoW on my list, specifically Fairy Tail WoW, because I actually know what anime that's from.
Yes, the Fairy Tail WoW.
That is on my list of assets I want.
I guess it's a good thing I made the move. I made the time travel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because it bounced from Huck to Faith, which means it would have gone back to Huck again.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
So did you get it figured out?
I'm learning.
Learning. He's learning.
So.
I'm learning so hard right now.
Don't do that.
I don't know.
All goes well, a new villager will have a thought.
Right.
This every day until a day when the villager who you actually want to move out has a thought.
We're actually like watching a tutorial on how to do it.
Yes, I'm watching a tutorial how to do it.
That's
do what you need, dear. It just amuses me.
I'm like, I want Stitches to leave, and the last time I tried to use a tutorial, I didn't have the ranking to get him to leave.
Yeah.
So
it's like, why isn't this tutorial working? I'm doing all the steps, and it's like, oh, well, you don't have like the full 10 villagers yet, and we didn't know that was an important criteria, and the tutorial did not specify.
It wasn't the 10 villagers for me. It was the fact I didn't have KK Slider on my island yet.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah, just like, things tutorials don't consider adding, because they assume you've been playing the game for a long time. I'm like, well, if I've been playing the game for a long time, I would know how to do this, and I wouldn't need the tutorial.
Not
Let's see. There's guy here.
Tutorial on cheesing the system. It's not like a normal function within the game.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I wish Animal Crossing would put it in where you could kick out a villager if you wanted to leave.
If I want to kick out a villager, I should be able to do that.
Even if there's like a little cute side quest or something to do it, I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Give me a cute side quest to do.
Alrighty, it is. Oh, that reminds me, I got the recipe from Isabel, right? I don't want to save. I want my Nook phone. There we go. There we go. Thank you. There's Peach Ball. Cherry Blossom Petals for the outdoor picnic set. Thank you, Isabel. You are beautiful and wonderful. And come on, Stitches, please move.
Please move.
Doggo's getting pet over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Back to tutorial, because I have no clues. I don't have amiibo villagers I can use to kick him out!
I'm gonna get to the point right there. I know it's coming.
Wait, you're gonna get to the point where what?
I'm running out of hands.
Okay!
Running out
Fine
of
then!
hands?
We'll come back to Cherry Blossom season after.
Yep.
Because it says time travel 15 days and just jump next day if it's not over here. You don't want to leave. Okay, boy, you're going! You have no say!
You have no say in this.
Okay, 15 days, so 15 days from the 3rd would be 18. Okay. Am I jumping ahead days? Yes. Am I gonna buy anything? No. We're just gonna kick him out, and then once he's gone, we're going back to cherry blossom season.
Is that irrigation? Jeez.
Okay. We're gonna close software, and then we're gonna go beep 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 beep. We're gonna go settings, go to the bottom. System, taking time. Yep, 15, 18, so we're gonna jump to the 18th. What day does it say? Yep. Alright, here we go.
Barracuda.
Please be the one with the hot level, please.
I remember Guitar Hero. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've been listening to the Guitar Hero soundtrack. That's not a soundtrack. Those are just songs.
I mean, to be fair, if you're listening to just say the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, that's just songs that existed before the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
They weren't created like before. They weren't created for the movie.
Hey guys, Memo Jesus here, and welcome to a part of my game room.
Welcome to my tutorial.
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 Okay. He's out of his house. It looks
Tutorial.
From your search history, piano tutorial.
He's gasping.
I think Kit is
I'm not gasping. I'm laughing.
Oh, okay. So make sure you're doing okay, sweetie.
I'm like begging. I'm like, please, please, please.
Are you getting desperate laughter?
Okay, it's been 15 days. Yep, right now. We have a visitor. We have a visitor at the campsite.
Oh, you have to check who that is.
You have to check that out because that could help you. If it's somebody you want, you could just kick out Stitches.
Yeah, that could work.
I might just use them if they'll be willing to kick out Stitches.
Yeah, if they suggest Stitches. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's do this thing.
Let's do the thing. People.
Let's go.
Go.
The only thing is I don't want them kicking out Audie, so...
Yeah, you've got lots of villagers there.
If it's somebody you want, you need to look up a guide to how to get them to kick out the right person.
Yeah, you need to look up a guide for that separately.
Because that is something that you can mess up permanently.
Yeah.
I hack.
Yeah, listen to my wisdom.
Who's here? Who's here? Okay. It's male. I don't know who that is. It's a duck. But
it would make it so that you so Muffy's no longer the newest one.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I need to get rid of some stuff. Because she's like, let's play a game, and I'm like, fine.
Yeah, fine.
Is that what you're gonna go for then?
Yeah, because it's the easiest way to kick him out.
Okay, you need to look up a guide for that because you have to not save at the right moment, or they're not. So there comes to a point where they're going to suggest who should move out in favor of them moving in. And if you save or not save at the wrong moment, they will ask for a different villager when you reset. So that's why you can make a permanent mistake. You need to look up a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very delicate process.
And I'm pretty sure once you do it, though, they'll be in boxes immediately. You won't even have to...
Yeah, double check to make sure that they're in boxes or not before resetting, because Beastbird messed that up. And that was very sad.
So, Vicky, why does your depressed guy have, like, rainbow unicorn magic?
He's an illusionist.
Oh, okay.
It's just kind of my weird way of depicting that. I'm like, whatever, just have some, like, colors, even though that's not, like, something he's normally going to depict with his abilities. It's just kind of like a shortcut to be like, look at him, he's got, ooh, sparkly magic. Just like, he can make it look sparkly and magical, but it's not something he normally does.
Okay.
It's my artist shortcut.
Come on, girl.
I think it look a bit more mysterious than sparkly unicorn.
What?
I would make it look a bit more mysterious than sparkly unicorn.
In what way?
Bright colors.
Sorry, your voice is very muffled, Aki. I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay. You can still use bright colors, but use ones that like fit his personality better, I would say.
Trying to think of what that would entail.
I'm thinking like a bright blue. Maybe
blue.
Maybe change the purple to bright blue.
Okay.
Oh, come on, girl. Okay.
Why you acting so crazy?
Hold on.
My backseat arting yet?
I want you to be. That's fine. How's this shade of blue?
More blue.
More blue.
That's
Okay.
That's too violet.
Okay.
More like a royal blue.
Yeah, like a bright royal blue.
Okay, here I am listening to a thing on how to do it.
How about this?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the colors I did pick were very like unicorn magic. I mean, it's not. Yeah, again, like this entire thing is not like accurate to how he displays his abilities at all. It's just kind of.
I was thinking like something that makes it look like a blue flame, maybe. Not that it is a blue flame, but those are like very mysterious colors.
That makes sense.
I'm going to show you the process that you need to do in order to get them to get off the right person.
Bless you.
Who? There's a lot of echo getting somewhere.
What kind of an echo are you getting?
I'm just getting kind of like a lot of echo somewhere.
Is it echo of voices? Does it sound like
I don't know.
video? Does it sound like my hangers? Does it sound like our voices?
I don't know. Definitely not hangers. I didn't know you were doing anything in your closet, so.
So let's talk to them. We're going to go through some dialogue with them for a bit first, before we
white noise?
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of the
I'm hearing a
video
lot of white
background
noise. I think it's, yeah, I'm hearing a lot of white noise. I think it's because Kit's playing a video.
Yeah, a lot of white noise too.
Sorry.
Yeah, just letting you know.
Yeah.
Like it is like pretty loud.
Maybe mute during the tutorial parts. I'm sorry, I hate to have you go on the call and then tell you to mute. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on my phone, so it's really quiet.
Yeah. That's
Hold
fine.
on. Let me. I'm gonna mute myself and see if I can get. I'll come back in a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead.
How do I mute myself?
So, tell us about this lady that you're coloring right now.
Okay, so she's a character that's intended to be very mysterious, so I'm not going to reveal a whole lot about her right now, but she is the sister of this teacher.
Oh, okay.
They're related.
Related. I'm glad I finally washed some of my sweaters.
Why? Are you chilly?
No, mostly just they were getting really gross, and I have a tendency to be like, oh, well, I'm going to wear this tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and then I don't wash them.
Yeah, I do that.
Oh, yeah, I need to get some stuff out of my laundry.
I mean, I saw a good Tumblr post recently that's like, cool stream idea. You just fold your laundry, and other people watching are also folding their laundry. And I'm like, that's the type of down-to-earth stuff I'm way into, actually.
Genius!
It's kind of genius. But I don't...
There was also that One's Out video where he was just talking about, like, chores adults have to do all the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, laundry. I'll bet many of you have laundry that you need to put in the dryer right now and you forgot about until I reminded you just now. Go ahead, go do it. I'll wait.
I'll wait. You can pause the video. I freaking love
I'm gonna go do that right now.
Yeah, go do that, man.
So, gonna disconnect.
Disconnected. Don't know how we fell apart. I don't remember.
It's okay, I love you anyway.
Ah!
Got you there.
She did. She did get me there. I've been gotted.
Heidi har har. Thanks for the jar.
Hardy har har, thanks for the jar.
Your Luigi accessories that are on this hanger. I'm gonna steal the hanger and put them on a different hanger.
Yeah, that's okay. If you like that hanger better, by all means. It just doesn't matter what hanger it's on for my accessories.
I have a lot of pretty useless hangers that had skirts or pants on them and are not very good to read. So
that's totally good. You're good. You're fine. You're fine.
I'm good and fine and good.
You're good and fine and good. And somebody has to tell you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, baby. Oh, row, row, row.
By the way, I am chill with going to see a late movie if it comes to that.
Okay, yeah. I was definitely still interested in going out to see a movie tonight. The Sonic.
I want to let Kit do her thing because then I need to go over to the island and pick up Stitches when he's ready to move out.
Yeah.
So, we can't really leave until that's done.
Yeah, I understand.
If we did have to go see it tomorrow night, would that be okay?
Of course that would be okay.
Yeah.
I'm just a jackal that was like, I'm gonna stream on Wednesday, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to stream on Wednesday.
I guess that's really up to you, Boo. We could maybe do a different thing where one of us streams on a different, maybe you have one of those weekend days and then I switch to a different weeknight. It's just difficult for me because
it's difficult because of your work, so, and I didn't want to get in the way of that.
And if we end up with a lot of friends that want to stream, we all need to coordinate around each other's schedules because we don't want to step on each other's toes.
Yeah, I don't want to step on my friends' toesies. And depending on how we schedule it, we could have it okay, I'm done with my stream, time to raid this other person. And then we can just, raid each other. Raid Shadow Legends.
No.
No?
Don't make it cursed.
Suit yourself.
That's cringe, bruh.
Bro, that's cringe.
You just posted cringe.
After all, why not? Why shouldn't I post cringe? You should know that's one of my favorite memes I have.
Who says that?
It's it's a screenshot of some character from Lord of the Rings. I don't remember who he is, but he's an old guy and he's looking in a bag, and I assume the original context has something to do with the ring is in the bag, but I'm not super acquainted with Lord of the Rings.
Okay, is he an old guy with short curly hair?
Yeah. Short curly gray hair.
I think that's Bilbo.
Okay. Like old Bilbo.
Old Bilbo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just not super acquainted with Lord of the Rings, but I'd like to be. One of these days we'll try watching it again and see if we can get into it.
I was really bored the first time,
I was really bored the first time I tried it, but I'm willing to try it again because I really liked The Hobbit.
The Hobbit was okay.
No, it had things in it I really, really liked. I think the problem with your end is the version we found to watch ended up being the director's cut, so it had a lot of extra filler, and we were just bored. It was a lot more boring because it just had way too much stuff that wasn't important, and they just didn't get to the point.
You know, I keep thinking about Point Crow and try
I'm
it.
back.
Hello.
Not who's
Guess
that?
what? She said she decided to move in, and she said, you know, at resident service they suggest that Stitches might cooperate with my plan. Yes, he's leaving.
Woo!
Okay, so
Congrats.
confirm that Stitches will be in boxes, and then I'll be on my way over.
Yeah, confirm
I'm
that he's in
totally
boxes.
okay.
You have to see that he is in boxes with your eyes. Because
I'm gonna go see
Peaceford
that
has messed
first.
this up, so I wanna...
I
pretty
had the
sure
chat,
that-
I shared my hopes, dreams, and love for this island, and they agreed to my idea!
Woo!
Oh.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, is that a Beast Beard?
Yes.
Hi, baby.
The Beast Boyardee.
Boy.
Okay. I'm gonna go check to see if Stitches is in boxes.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have a bathroom break.
Okay.
No, you are not.
No,
allowed to use
none
the
of that for
gun.
you.
He's
No,
leaving.
no, 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 no.
We are here to enslave you. You are not allowed to have your human rights. Bruh? You gonna bruh me? Is that a bruh moment?
Please be in boxes, please be in boxes.
Yes. You have to see that he is in boxes with your eyes.
I'm actually...
Well, okay. Okay, he is?
He is in boxes!
Nice! Okay. When Aki is back from the
that
Tinkle
reminds me,
House.
I need to go greet Scoot.
Scoot.
Because Scoot recently moved into my island.
Ooh. Give him a good
And I
greeting.
sold play for 2 million bells.
This
You-
makes
you
me
sold
happy.
someone?
He's leaving! He's
Yeah,
leaving! He's
you were
going!
on the phone when I
He's
sold
being
play.
gone! Ah!
I don't super remember.
Yeah, I was freaking out because she sold for 2 million.
Oh yeah, like she sells really well in Nukazan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was ungifted as well, so that was a really nice perk for whoever I sold it to.
Nice.
Like,
nice,
I literally
nice.
did not talk to her
Stitches
a
has
single
been
time.
ungifted. I've left him alone for you.
Ho, 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 ho.
I'm like, he's leaving. He's leaving. He's going. Goodbye. Yes.
Finally, we can get rid of him. Stitches, you're coming to a better home.
Saving side game.
Alright, Scoot.
Only my best friends. Here we go. So my gate is open.
Alright.
For best friends.
For best friends.
He's gone. He's leaving. He's going. That was so lucky. She's like, Stitches is leaving. I'm like, yeah.
So good.
Like, I love him, but he was not. He was not.
You don't
gotten
fit my
for me.
aesthetic.
Well, he was not gotten for me. He was gotten for you in the first place.
It's like, I'm not saying you ugly, but...
Yeah. I just knew he was rare, so I was like, I better grab
He's very
him.
rare.
So my island is open. So when Aki gets back,
yeah, she'll be back in a few
let
minutes.
her know to get on quick.
Stitches.
Because we got something very important going on.
Because I got rid of him finally. Ah,
Be gone.
he's leaving. So I'm like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
All that work, and it finally worked. He's finally leaving.
Finally. Oh my gosh. Oh,
That makes me happy.
I'm so happy for you, dude.
Oh,
Stretch.
Should you be happy for yourself?
That's my stretchy nose.
Oh, yes. Do the congratulatory stretches.
The what?
Congratulatory stretches.
Oh, congratulatory stretches. That seems fine.
What do you think it said?
I don't know. It was a bunch of syllables.
I'm just
Think
like,
I know? Alright, I'm gonna go to my character Bible. And
like,
let's see, BB.
I have never been so happy to get rid of a stuffed bear before.
Okay, Google Drive. Gotta go to
But
my
the
drive.
thing is, like, I can like, I can, do other stuff and stuff. I was kind of hoping it would be Shino, but it's not Shino, but it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, of course we're all hoping for Shino.
Yeah.
Shino is, like, S tier.
Shino is Hanya lore, which is why I want Shino.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am in the same boat. I desperately want Shino as well.
Yeah. Well, the reason being is I'm building a lore island, so I'm like, I need Shino, because she's a Hanya deer.
Let's go talk to Scoot!
Scoot.
Scoot.
Just waiting patiently for...
okay.
Waiting patiently for Aki.
I just checked my character Bible. I'm like, did I specifically write what these colors were going to be?
Nope.
And, like, for the second character here, no, I did not. I don't remember. I don't super remember what her colors were going to be.
Waiting patiently for Aki.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to check. Do I have a chapter that has her in it where I would have written her clothing colors?
He's in boxes now. Da 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 da.
Okay, I've got a chapter.
I'm just happy. I'm so happy he's leaving. I'm like, yeah.
Control find.
Ooh.
Alright.
There's a Kiki's delivery service bow here.
Bow?
Better buy that then.
I'm going for it.
Go for it.
I am.
Okay, waiting patiently for Aki doo-da, doo-da. Waiting patiently today, doo-da doo-da day. Waiting for Aki, yes, hooray. Waiting patiently for Aki, doo-da doo-doo-doo. How much? Yes, I have the tokens. No, I don't want that. I want... Go down. Give me the crown candy. Thank you.
She's grabbing the switch.
Waiting patiently for Aki.
Oh, Lord, she's coming.
Alright.
Hold on, I gotta get rearranged here.
It works.
Okay, so Stitches is in boxes?
Yes, he inboxes, and my thing is open to best friends, so head on over.
Usually.
So you can naps him.
Time to kidnap Stitches.
Kidnap.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna take a tinkle break myself. Where's my AF?
Yeah.
Hooray.
There it is. Cool. Neato.
Right there.
BRB.
Mm-hmm.
I need to grab my water bottle. I'm a thirsty girl.
You shall have Stitches, hooray!
Stitches.
I'm just waiting patiently with my gate open. While I enjoy the fact that Stitches is leaving my island!
Rawr. Meow, 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 meow.
Alright, so is this item really just called Floral Swag?
Is that an Animal Crossing item?
It is.
I think I know which one you're talking about. It's like wall hanging dried flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they called it that. Swag, I guess.
There's Vil. Now I just have the last two of Vil's to fix, but Let's see, how are we on Rook? Do we have enough for Rook? We do! Hooray for that. While I'm waiting for you, I'm doing a mobile game.
Oh, nice.
I have... I'm getting the... Oh yeah, it says you online. Hooray!
Mm-hmm. I had to redo my theater in the past week, so that is pretty much done. There's just some areas around it.
Hey.
Like
Drink water.
Still here. And I'm gonna head over.
Okay.
Oh. Laura. What's up, girl?
There we go. Good.
Great. Oh, baby.
Great.
Yes.
Now we go to groupification. Thank you.
Want to die?
Nice. It before you do, Rook. No. It's the 13th, which means tomorrow's the 14th, which means I think the Kaleem thing ends, so. Yay! And then once you talk to him, I don't have to worry, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. You can go and confirm that that his sign on his house says that he's moved. After I talk to him. Like, after I leave the island, the sign on his house should say that he's moved. And, like, it'll be locked, it won't let you in. And then tomorrow will be an empty plot.
Well, it won't be an empty plot, because I used a villager to kick him out.
Right.
I'm just breathing a sigh of relief that he's gonna be gone.
You're breathing a sigh of relief that what?
He's
gonna be gone.
Yeah.
You finally got him after so many months of him sitting here.
Well, neither of us have been playing super religiously lately, I don't think, so.
No. I've been sick, so no.
I mean, being sick means I'm more likely to be playing. But
yeah. With what I had, I was sleeping all the time. Hello, this way!
Hello.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh.
Hey.
Hello.
Make it happen.
Everybody drink water. I need water.
Yes.
Here's his house.
I'd actually just told them to do that myself.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah. That's fine. Oh, and Sarge is not here.
Sarge has been like popping in and out.
Come to my island.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I got the hearts from Sarah. Hello. Oh, I have.
Is he
hearts
coming
from
to your
my
island?
too.
Kit. Once I exit, I'm going to confirm that his name is on my island, and you confirm that he's got a moved sign on your island, and then we'll good.
Okay. It'll save once you leave, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got many hearts. Like Sichu heart, man. There we go. I have a bunch of hearts. Drink more water. Nom nom. I need more water.
I'm just waiting for you to head home. Okay, looks like someone's leaving.
Looks like someone's leaving.
Stitches get.
Stitches get.
Stitches get stitches.
Stitches get stitches.
Yeah.
Fine.
Stitches on stitches on stitches on stitches on stitches.
Oh, alright, I don't remember what colors I was gonna make this character's outfit.
Bless you, girl. So I just have to go to his house now?
Yeah, check to see if he's got a sign on his door saying that he moved out.
Well, okay. I've moved out, Stitches.
I've moved him out. He has been evicted.
Good.
And then does your spot say you have Stitches?
Still loading.
Okay. Oh, he's gone. It's kind of sad, but it's also kind of not sad. I've wanted him to leave for a while.
Oh
This
yeah.
spot was his new home.
He's coming to his new home.
He's coming to the home he was originally intended for.
That's right.
And I left him pretty ungifted, so...
Cool. Seems good with me. Okay, is this color horrible?
I'm going to fast forward a day so I can just see him.
Okay,
Dang, Stitches has been fishing there for like 20 minutes now.
He'll do that.
I'm just waiting to make sure he's in your island before I jump back.
The colors are so different between my two monitors. I don't know what color to pick.
You know, a man with one monitor always knows what color he's using.
Oh, that's how it's gonna be? Alright, you know what? I'm gonna go very different, and I'm gonna give her blue.
Okay. You have Stitches? Moving in, though?
I'm like, I got the sign saying he was moving in, so personally
okay,
that's
so
good.
I can save and end my game?
Yeah.
Okay! You gone?
What are you doing?
You going to your game? I happy?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward a day so I can...
You're fine. I'm just like, he's gone. He's moving to your game.
Is he gone? Is he gone? Is he gone? Is he gone?
He's where he's supposed to be. So I'm happy. So I can turn off my Switch now.
Ta-da!
It worked out, though. You finally got him.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, the blue is fine. Just have no imagination for colors. I'm a crummy artist, dude.
I feel like maybe you might be just a little bit exhausted, you know, like all your creativity.
Yeah. I mean, I had a color scheme in mind, and now that I'm like trying to put it in front of me, it's just not looking right.
Oh.
And like, honestly, it doesn't super matter. Like, it's not like this is the character's like superhero costume. This is just some casual clothing.
I'm just glad you guys got Stitches.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
That's the thing is I was like, I'm villager hunting for other people, if I can't find the ones I want for me.
Yeah. And then we still have Kabuki on our island, right?
Yeah, we've got Kabuki here for Kit.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I am ready to kick someone out.
I mean, if a character wants to leave and then you have an empty plot.
Yeah.
Like if it just happens naturally, then yeah, by all means, make sure you message us.
I will let you know. I'm just like, I got you, Stitches. If Muffy wants to leave, then...
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, trades aren't really a thing.
I know trades aren't really...
Which sucks, but...
The right way. She will have an empty spot, and then I can try kicking out Kabuki.
Well, the thing is, Faith has been wanting to go for a while, and it might be time to send her on her merry way.
Aw, Faithy Wafy.
Yeah. Like, the reason I haven't sent her out is because she's gifted, but I could probably still get her for money.
That feeling when you're gifted.
Yeah. So.
I never thought about how that means something.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
It's over. Stitches is no longer there.
It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? Okay, do I want to go really brown on this?
I'm just like, oh.
How about brown over here?
Here he is.
The feeling of Stitches being gone is like relief, because you guys have him now.
I have you now.
And I am going to be happy because he will be with you where he was supposed to be. And
glad you guys got some stuff done today.
And I can focus on doing cherry blossom season on my own pace.
I feel like you guys got more productive stuff done today than I have.
You've been doing art, that's productive.
Oh, okay. I don't feel very productive.
That's really more productive than playing a video game, Vicky.
Yep.
What, coloring?
Yes, coloring is productive.
Okay,
yep.
cool.
Oh, okay. It's available till the 17th. Okay, I still got time. I still got time.
Me when I definitely got time. Yeah, I got time.
Well, I'm doing this, so on my game, it's like a gotcha type thing.
Yeah.
So, though I did have a rare occurrence, they had this birthday event, and I was like, I am poor because taxes took my money, you know?
Oh, you know.
And so I was like, I got one free key, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this on the birthday thing. I don't know if it'll work, but I'll try. And I got the rare card.
Nice.
I was like, yay! I don't have to swap for 10. Just, so I have actually a lot of birthday themed SSR characters. I'm like, whoops.
Haha, whoops.
The thing is, my favorite won't come out until December, so I'm like,
yeah.
I have to wait. I don't like waiting.
I'm gonna rewind my game.
No, I can't wait. When are they gonna open up the door?
But now you have,
We have the hymn.
That's good.
Is he a himbo?
Yeah. I mean, Knuckles is a himbo.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna go there.
I mean, Sonic Boom Knuckles, specifically.
Yeah.
It's big himbo energy.
Yeah, especially when he gives that feminist rant.
Just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist.
Yeah!
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender roles,
it ultimately undermines it.
It only undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is the exception and not the status quo.
Hey, just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist. It's freaking perfection.
It's so good.
His house is so cute. Oh my gosh, I love all the toys. He's dusting everything.
Dusting. She dusts.
That would be why I,
She dusts.
See notes.
Vicky, I'm wrapping up on here, and then I'm gonna go check movie theater showings.
Yeah, because I'm almost done with here, and then I do want to wrap up because I'm like, I was just, it's not anything fancy today. I'm like, I just want to relax and color some artwork of mine that I need to color.
Yeah.
It's like coloring is a very like, you know, usually pretty brainless activity for me, even though like I'm fussing over colors constantly.
I was looking over because you said Atashi is like a very feminine. Very feminine pronoun.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at the notes, you know.
Yeah.
And it was formerly used by male members of the merchant and artisan classes in the Edo area and continues to be used by male Rokugo performers. I was like, oh, that's why Vel uses it. Okay.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. Because he's an actor.
An actor.
So he's part of like the artisan type performing class. So I was like, that's why he uses Atashi. Okay. I got it.
Cute.
Atashi.
Yeah. Because I was so confused because I figured he might use Boku, you know? But he uses Atashi, which is predominantly used by females. I was like, you know?
Honey.
You know?
Yeah.
Vicky,
Nani?
a question.
Nani?
Mr. Mannequin.
Yes.
Did he build the ability to emote into his doll? Or does he not emote, or do you just ignore that for the sake of cartoon?
Okay, mostly I have cartoon logic, so like he did design a face onto it and it can emote, and no, I don't have any ideas for like logic on how that would work. I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let this one be cartoony. He can just emote. Unless somebody wants to give me like a more scientific-y or physical mechanical thing I can build in, that would be easy.
Manipulate, like if it's like a drawn-on face, and he's able to manipulate the drawings.
Yeah, like if he drew it on with like, I don't know, a Sharpie, like could he manipulate the ink that's in the wood?
Who?
Mannequin, my character Mannequin.
Oh, okay. I was like,
huh? You know, the character's on screen.
Yeah, my brain's kind of.
No, that's fine.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I was.
No,
trying to.
No, you're fine.
You're just to go.
I'm just like I've made some weird characters, and my sister has questions about them, and I am eager to be asked questions like that where I have to put a bit more thought into my work, and it's like, have I put thought into that particular aspect, etc., etc. Most things, yes.
Yeah, I'm just.
The answer is always yes, because
always yes.
you're a much bigger brain than we are.
Oh no, I don't know about that, man.
Oh yes, totally.
Totes. But no, Aki is really, really good about asking me questions that are very important and thought-provoking for my writing. So I'm very eager to hear like what she has to say, because that helps me with my writing immensely.
I'm working on fanfic stuff, so.
Fanfic stuff.
Yeah. Coming up with OCs and stuff is fun.
I like coming up with OCs. Why I have OCs that I'm coloring. Yes. I like coloring my OCs. Coloring. So Aki, did you get stitches officially on your island?
Yes, and I'm now gonna save it.
Cool.
Stitches.
Okay. Stitches, and I'm officially done with all the coloring I needed to do today. I mean, I've got more coloring. Like, I need to choose a better color scheme for this third character on this page.
And have one monitor.
And I'm not about to have one monitor. If anything, I'm gonna have 3 monitors. Because that's my life.
I'm just glad that helped you out.
Yeah.
So.
let's see. I am gonna make a...
I've got a lot of...
Let's go over here and go to...
I'm just kind of going nuts because I finished a very big goal in my mobile game and I'm like, oh no, what do I do now?
Oh no, what do I do now?
Because one of the things that you can do is so you go to classes with your favorite characters and stuff, right? So you can go to classes with all the characters, but I reached the 1,000 class mark with one of my favorites, so I'm like, what do I do now? But I got out of it. I got the title for my I got this little banner that calls that says Idiot's Bestie, and I was like, yay!
Yes.
I'm Miss Bestie! Hurrah! Would make sense why I'm besties with someone who's a computer nerd.
And you know, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna show off one more page, even though these aren't like. My brain crashed. Even though these are like done coloring, I want to show them off anyway. Keep layers, please. And I'm gonna change the color of like the background, make it the same gray as these other ones, because the green is garish. There we go. I want to save that. So just a few more characters.
So what are these characters for, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah. These are all for mental metas. It's my current story project about superheroes with mental or physical disabilities. Every single good guy has something wrong, so to speak, and it's about like, hey, you can be cool and be an awesome kick-ass superhero and kick some butt and be awesome and a good guy while having like mental illnesses or other like disabilities holding you back. Like, who cares? You can still be awesome. Like that's what it's about. So this set, I'll just go through these real quick now that like this is the end of the stream. This first one, this is Freya, or Pink Fox. Still messing with her color scheme. She has gravity powers. Second one is Tyree. He has ice powers. Next is Adila. She's a deer. She's a reindeer metahuman and also has wind powers. The fourth one is Miracle. She is the best friend of the main character. She doesn't have any powers. And she really likes Sailor Moon. She's the huge weeb. Next section is the teachers, although the main teacher is not on this page. Sorry, Fidelia. Main teacher is Fidelia, but the other three, we've got Mr. Mannequin and Mr. Hindmont, and then Mrs. Hindmont. Like, these two are siblings. Let's see. So, Mannequin has powers to... I can't words good. I'm sorry.
It's so good.
Yeah. Mr. Mannequin, his superpower is he manipulates inanimate objects. The less organic it is, the easier it is for him to control. So he needs wood that's really old and has been dead for a long time. Also, he's a woodworker, so he makes his own mannequins, and he just makes his own like ordinary stuff, like tables and stuff. He's a woodworker. That's his hobby. And then Mr. Hindmont, we got he's our Native American boy. He's an illusionist, and he's very depressed, as you can see. That's his character. And then Mrs. Hindmont, she's kind of mysterious. A lot of stuff about her is intentionally kept secret. So we don't know much about her on the surface level. And then this last page, which like this one is already like finished, which is why I wasn't coloring it at all today, but I'll go ahead and show off these. Okay, first we have Moonweaver, which, by the way, for people who are D&D fans, I named her Moonweaver long before I found out there was a Moonweaver in D&D. So that is not an intentional D&D reference. I just called her Moonweaver, and then I'm watching friggin' a Critical Role, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then the deity Moonweaver comes in and wrecks some crap, and I'm like, whoa, okay. Didn't know that was a thing. So Moonweaver, she's powers-wise, she's basically exactly like Raven. She is a famous superhero, and she's just really cool, and like the main character really looks up to her. We don't really see her a whole lot in the series because, like, you know, she's like a famous superhero, so she's talked about a lot, but not really seen. But she does have like a couple of moments here and there where we actually like get to see her on screen. Next we have is Birdie. He's also a very famous superhero. So, like, you know, these are a couple of heroes that have, like, the celebrity status straight up. Like, both of these two are just very famous. Birdie is definitely much more known for, like, he's the attractive one. He's got, like, a thick European accent. He's very flashy. He's very flirtatious. Like, he's just a very well-liked European superhero. I wasn't planning to do very much with him. He ended up becoming one of the most in-depth characters, actually. He was just kind of like aside, like, oh yeah, because I want to have like famous heroes to represent, like, you know, this, you know, it's a universe where heroes can be like super famous and get a lot of like clout and attention online and stuff, and be on TV a lot, get interviews. He ended up being really, really in-depth. So he actually gets way more screen time than I was anticipating for him. So we'll get more to him later. Next we have Lifeline, who is actually a villain. Her superpower is healing. I was like, have you ever seen a healer character who is not a good guy? her thing is specifically healing, and also like self-regeneration. So she like can't die. So yeah, Lifeline is also like one of my favorite characters. She wasn't meant to do very much, and then she also ended up being a character that got a lot of screen time. Like, I wrote a lot more stuff for her, so she's fun. And then the last is Crypt. We don't know much about him. He's just kind of a mercenary. He's also like on the bad guy's side. He's just kind of a mercenary, and we don't know much about him.
Vicky's been working on this for years, and she's put a lot of thought into it, you guys.
Oh, thank you.
I'm really excited to see it.
Thank you.
I want to read it for that.
Yeah, I've been working on mental metas for years and years and years. These drawings are like, I mean, all three of these drawing sheets. Okay, well this one says 2020, but the other two drawing sheets say 2019 on them. So these drawings are a bit older. And I'm like, some of these I'm only like just now getting around to coloring. So for the most part, I'm just writing these at the moment. I would freaking love them to be a comic. I would adore making this into a comic, but I don't got all the time in the world. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them, even though I can't like words good. It's like, are you even a good writer? You're not very good with your words. And I'm like, when I'm writing, I'm like Matt Mercer, but when I'm talking, I'm like Ashley Johnson. All right.
Well, the reason is when you write, you have time to think about it.
Yeah, I have time to correct typos and think about how I want to word my sentences and articulate them to sound smart and good and stuff. I'm really, really not good at articulating with my mouth. I get really flustered. I'm like, oh, let me talk about my oshish. I want to talk about my oshish, but then I like flumber over my words. See, I can't even say flumpster correctly. I'm just like,
It's alright. I'm being kind of.
But yeah, no, I understand. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I'm bad with my words hold, but I'm really passionate about my characters and my story and stuff, and you know.
You're good. I'm kind of glaring at.
Glaring.
I'm glaring at this game because the game is a little further ahead in Japan than where it is in English.
Yeah, you're playing Twisted Wonderland or whatever. What's it called? Twisted Wonderland?
Yeah.
Okay, I did get it right. Cool.
I'm waiting for the next chapter update, and it's not come out yet, and I'm going,
Hey, Vicky.
So,
yes.
And they're like,
I've made a decision.
Okay, what's the decision?
Okay, even though I did find a showing we can go do tonight, I think I'd rather do tomorrow night, because I just remembered I do have to get up early for a job interview. So doing a late movie tonight would not be a good idea.
Yeah, we can go see it tomorrow. That's fine.
For what show?
We're looking to go see Sonic 2. We're looking at theater showings, but it sounds like Aki has a job interview in the morning, so we don't want to stay up too late watching a movie.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that seems
like being at home watching the movie would be fine, but going out, not
going out and then having to drive back when we might be tired and stuff, like that's totally fine.
Yeah.
We can go see it tomorrow. That's all good with me. It's spring break. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I do want to say I kind of wanted to fit the Van Gogh exhibit in somewhere, but I'm not sure where we're gonna fit that in.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where we can fit that in.
And I kind of want to just all this week. I'm just like, it would take a lot of spoons for me to figure out the Van Gogh exhibit thing. So that's like whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. So tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I am officially on my way to Seattle.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for you, bro.
Anyway, I think I'm like really tired. So
no,
I
mean, well, yeah, I'm really tired too. I've been.
Well, I was just saying, I think I'm gonna hop off. I'm just glad you guys got stitches. I'm like, yeah.
Yay! Well, I'm glad you guys got something done.
Yeah.
I've been hurting for a long time.
I've been hurting for a long time.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Anyway,
oh my God,
I'm gonna let you go. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
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 See you later, Kit.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you, everybody. I love you all.
Thank you for watching us and listen to us.
Thank you for listening to my ramblings of a madman.
Don't forget to drink water.
Drink plenty of water. I need plenty of water.
Lots of water.
A copious amount of water.
So much water, you'll feel the little glug glug in your tum tum.
Oh, that's a lot of water. Yeah, you could shake yourself around and feel it like juggling around inside your stomach. That seems good.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah. Be sure to do that, everyone.
Everyone.
Alright, nighty night.
Night. Bye.
Oh, I got the reminder that I need to check to see if there's anybody raidable. So let's go check Twitch. Who's on? Let's see. Oh, I really got like 7 people. This isn't I have 7 people right now. Let's go to.
You've been getting a consistent amount of people, actually.
I mean, yeah, one of the things Twitch wants me to have is a consistent set of viewers, and I'm like, well, that's pretty easy because I have like my immediate friend group who watches me, so
yeah,
that makes it real easy. All right, I'm gonna do.
If no one else, you'll always have me.
Yay! Let's see. Let's type in this person's username. I don't know much about them, but they are a friend of Delight. So I'm just going to spread the love around. 7. Okay, does this work if I press this?
Yeah, so you needed like exclamation raid.
Slash raid worked.
Yeah, slash raid. You're right.
There we go.
And it'll automatically take us like in a few seconds, so.
Yeah.
Alright. Nighty night, everybody. Ha ha ha.
Night.
Ah.